Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is the Sunday Week 12 live stream. It's me, Joey P. Joe Pisapia. With me, my co-host, as we release the Strachan. It's Tom Strachan, everybody, from across the pond. Clearly, he didn't get the memo about how we dress on Sunday mornings. It's jacket required around these parts. I think we have an extra one. You ever go to one of those restaurants and you didn't know you had to have a jacket and they give you like someone else's? That's a weird thing, isn't it, Tom?
It is, and honestly, like with how hungover I am today, you're just lucky that I'm out of bed.
Where were you yesterday? What was happening there?
Just child-free date night, me and the wife, steakhouse,
okay.
couple of bottles of wine, and the rest was a blur.
There you go. That's the kind of evening you want to have on a Saturday night. All right, we're going to try to have a good Sunday. That's our job here. Again, Super Chats are live. The first 10 minutes of the show, we're going to guarantee we answer the first few here in the first 10 minutes. After that, all bets are off. We're going to do our best as always, and we've got 2 hours here, so hopefully we'll get to everybody. Let's start with Cristal here. I need 2 wide receivers and a flex from this list. Nico, Puka, Jennings, Quentin Johnson, and Aaron Jones. Also Murray versus Herbert. Let's do the quarterback first. I'm going towards Herbert there, although Murray is very tempting.
Yeah, I'm with you on Herbert. I've got him just one spot ahead of Kyler Murray.
All right, so the wide receivers, Nico and Puka. I think you got to play those guys, right? No matter what.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so who's the flex? Jennings, QJ, or Aaron Jones?
I think it's probably Aaron Jones. I'm a little bit low on him this week, but I'd still lean towards that.
All right, let's go to Malik, friend of the show here. Malik, what's up, fellas? Pearsall did me dirty last week. Anyway, it's a must-win for my full PPR, Pat or Knicks.
It's Pat Mahomes again.
We're here.
Guys, yeah. I think like this feels like the Chiefs are going to go out and try and stomp on the Panthers, so I'm happy leaning at Patrick Mahomes.
All right, if no Neighbors, which is not true, Neighbors looks like he's going to play then of Dunze or Pearsall, but you don't have to worry about that, Malik. You're in good shape there. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I gotta say, it's the first Giants game I've been looking forward to watching in ever. I mean, just I'll be honest. I don't really like watching the Giants. Never have, never will. But Tommy DeVito, that guy's good television. Let's go to Ice Cold. Big question. You're having a hard time choosing. Need 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and 1 for the flex. Evans, he said Madonkey, which is kind of fun. Marvin Harrison Jr., Sutton, Kyron Williams, and Monty Tracy Irving. Not sure if matchups and weather matter. All right, so dive into this. Let's go. 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex. It's hard not to start Evans, right? He's in. We'll lock him in.
Yep. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
just one of your
Debro
wide
tweeted
receivers.
some stats earlier that just even if Evans is on a reduced amount of snaps, I think he's still going to get there in a convincing way.
Now, I know McConkey is questionable for tomorrow, so do you want to just take Marvin Harrison or Sutton today?
Yeah, I'm going to lean towards McConkey just because where McConkey wins in the middle of the field is where the Ravens have given up all their points, and
Right.
I'm fine. I mean, if you want to play it safe, if you need the safety, then yeah, I'd go with Sutton over Marvin Harrison this week. I mean, the Raiders' top 3 cornerbacks are all banged up, but I'd be leaning towards McConkey personally.
All right, and then Kyron Williams and Monty, I think those are the guys you got to start at RB, which means Tracy Irving, MHJ, and Sutton. Those are the last guys remaining there.
I think it's going to be MHJ. I just like both those running backs are okay, but like our boy Tommy DeVito takes so many sacks, it could be hard for Tracy.
He's Italian. We like physical contact. You know, we like when people hug us. That's what we are. Jason Alexander, there you go. Brovember matchup, must win. 3rd place and trying for first. QB choices: Mahomes versus Carolina, Mayfield versus the Giants.
It's Mahomes for me. I mean, yeah, I mean Mayfield's close, but it's still Mahomes.
And then over Geno as well, I assume, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Mitchell's question here. How about them brownies? Interesting. Yeah, it was fun. What a fun game. I mean, really, just if you love football, as long as you're not a Steelers fan, it was fun. I'm starting Jane Daniels over Lamar Jackson. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Daniels ranked at 2 in a lot of people's rankings this week. Jackson ranked at 3. I think, it's coin flip territory. All I'd say is Lamar Jackson has shone in primetime games over the years.
Yeah, I'm starting Lamar. Jane Daniels' health is also a little bit of concern for me. Where is he with that rib? Because he hasn't quite been the same guy since. If Neighbors is out, which he's not, so we're good with Neighbors, and then Otten or Goddard. I'm playing Otten here.
Yeah, I'd go with Otten as well.
All right, next up here is Trigger Trey. Full PPR, Otten over Hawkinson. I say yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Is it worth trusting Ladd as wide receiver 2 or switch to Johnston? I would be having Ladd. I'm where Tom is though, and at least you have Johnston. If God forbid he's out last minute, you're in good shape there. So,
yep.
And then JT Hunter Tracy, RB2 and a flex. So who is the odd man out here?
So I think that it'd be Tracy, it'd be the odd man out for me. Like Jonathan Taylor was a bit disappointing last weekend, but still him and Hunter top 15 running backs for me this week.
Chase is up next. Morning PPR, Chase London on a bye. So I have QJ, Pittman in wide receiver spots. Would I swap Pittman for Coker, Leggett, or Bateman? I don't think so. What do you think?
Like as a Ravens fan, I can make an optimistic case that the types of ways that Bateman wins is how the Chargers defend, and I think that he's going to have a good game, but I'm not sure I would start him over Pittman.
Yeah, he wasn't 100% healthy too. He just came off the injury report. Thoughts on the Lions or Tampa defense? Here we go. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to start Tampa there because, like I mentioned, Tommy Cutlets likes to take a sack.
Yeah, I agree. It's the sacks or the picks. That's what you're looking for here between those two guys. Anthony Richardson a little bit harder to catch than Tommy DeVito might be. He's a little bigger, stronger, faster, just a little bit. Malik King, do we trust Neighbors if he's a go? He is a go, and I trust him more than most of the other guys out there. Again, you got to give it a shot. As
Seth, our producer, points out in our chat, Malik Neighbors has a 71% chance to play according to the Are They Playing tool.
The Are They Playing tool? Are they playing? Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's go to fantasypros.com/Are They Playing right now to figure it out. Again, we use AI, injury data, and some of the wine left over from Tom's dinner last night with his wife. And that all mixed together gives you the amazing tool of Are They Playing at fantasypros.com/Are They Playing. Find out those percentages right now so you can make the right moves that you need to in order to have success in week 12. Let's go to Flack Attack with the next question here. Pollard or Bucky?
Man, I'm going Pollard there just because of the sheer volume that you can see with Tajay Spears ruled out with his concussion. It's not a great matchup. Texas is a good run defense, but I'd still just lean to the volume.
And then pick 2, Worthy, Pittman, and Wandale.
That's not fun. We are going to get some miserable ones this week because of
We are.
all the bye weeks. But
Injuries, yeah.
I think I go Pittman and Wandale. I know last
I do
week
too.
the Chiefs really wanted to get him involved, but it's still so flippant.
All right, awesome Dev, good friend of the show. Aloha Bros, full PPR, Neighbors, and McLaurin this week.
I'm going Neighbors. I mean, no risk it, no biscuits. Week 12. Let's go.
Also, start one, Chuba, Justice Hill, Abdullah, or Estimate. It's Chuba by a country mile for me.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, this is not close. I know it's negative game script. I don't care. Chuba's been getting the workload, and I'm not afraid of Brooks. I'm just not. Justin Jeffords, hey guys, full PPR, QJ or Jameson Williams? It's JMO for me.
JMO, yep, definitely.
Brian Robinson or Hunt?
I'm quite spicy with my Brian Robinson ranking this week. I've got him really high. I think I've got him as my running back 11, one spot ahead of Kareem Hunt. Just a matchup. I mean, the matchup's great for both of them, but I really like Brian Robinson.
And then Murray or Jaden Daniels? That's
going to be Jaden Daniels.
Okay, there you go. There you go, Justin. All right, Dev got another question here. Just 2 more questions for me, I swear, says Dev. Full PPR, QJ over Tank Dell?
No, I'm not doing that. Tank Dell just seems like, with Nico Collins back, it should make life easier on Tank Dell.
And then rank these RBs: Pollard, Tracy, Jacobs, B-Rob, Bucky Irving.
I really like Josh Jacobs this week. I mean, the way to beat the Bears is by running on them, isn't it? We've seen that time and time again. I think that Josh Jacobs, no way, I'm getting my matchups mixed up. Against the Niners, the way to beat the Niners is to run on them. They rank 19th in run defense DVOA. So I've got Josh Jacobs as my RB10. I'd then, after him, go with Pollard, then Tracy, and then Bucky Irving, but B-Rob would be ahead at the first one.
Okay, T-Cov, PPR pick 3, Puka, JSN, Neighbors, McConkey, Jennings, and Downs. It's JSN, Neighbors, and that for Puka or McConkey is closer, I think, than people realize this week, just from a matchup standpoint.
Yeah. I think I'd probably still be with the first 3.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Puka, Neighbors, McConkey would be fine, but yeah, it kind of comes out of JSN, McConkey more for me.
Eagles defense has played very well over the last month. All right, James Mayo, PPR, start 1, Disley, Watson, or Juwan Jennings?
I mean, I can't start Will Disley over those 2 guys. Like, I think it'd be Juwan Jennings for me, even with a backup quarterback. We've seen backup quarterbacks come into the Niners system over the years and do well. Yeah. Like, I mean, even Jimmy.
I still like the Niners in this game. I'm telling you right now, everyone's going to be like, "Oh, I can't believe that happened." I can. Even with Purdy out, you know what? I cashed out of that one bet and I turned around and reinvested it at a better number. I'm still doing it.
Nice.
Still doing it. I don't care. Here's a hot take. Maybe I'm going to start Christian Watson. Here's why. I think without Nick Bosa, Jordan Love has more time in the pocket. More time in the pocket means bigger plays downfield for Christian Watson. That is my thought process with this one. I think if there's going to be a week where he's not in danger as much, like normally he would be against that kind of defense with that pass rush, this would be the week. Also, I have Herbert 2, bad bye week. Need to stay to win. Appreciate you boys. Appreciate you, James. Thanks for hanging out with us. Let's go to Peter. Good morning, gents. I use that term loosely with us. Wide receiver 2, QJ or JMO? Still JMO.
Yeah, it's still JMO. Like, I mean, the Colts, they give up plenty of points to outside wide receivers. I just think that JMO's in a really good spot. And the Lions, they just put their foot down. They're not bothered about taking their foot off the gas.
And then Jonnu or Hawkinson?
That's going to be Jonnu for me. I just felt like last week was a little nervous about Hawkinson coming out of that one. I know Josh Oliver's ruled out, so he won't be hoovering up as many targets. But yeah, Jonnu at tight end 11 for me this week.
Next up here is Bam, 26 Bam. Stevenson or Bucky Irving?
Yeah, I really like Ramondre Stevenson this week. Good matchup. The Dolphins give up plenty of fantasy points to opposing running backs. They give up the 9th most, so I'd be leaning into Ramondre.
And then Vele or Nick Westbrook-Ikhine? The touchdown maker.
You can chase the touchdowns for Westbrook. Vele feels like he could be out there, maybe have like 4 for 30, and you're still a bit disappointed.
PPR flex, QJ or Goddard?
I'd go QJ there.
And then Hurts, have Hurts and Otten. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, that's where you're going here for this one. All right, let's go to Douglas's question here. Good morning. Tank Dell or JSN? It's JSN for me. And
JSN,
this is easy peasy here. I'm torn between Knicks and Daniels in a 4-point passing league. This is from TB12. Knicks and Daniels.
Well, the thing that you can kind of put against Daniels is that he hasn't thrown for multiple passing touchdowns in many games, so I would get it. but I just think the additional rushing floor that you're getting from Daniels potentially is possibly a little more than Nick's. He played on Thursday night. He's had those extra couple of days rest. So yeah, I'm still going with Daniels.
I want to do a quick look here too, because Bo Nix, last 2 weeks rushing yard wise, obviously hasn't done much. And
Yeah.
3 or 4 hasn't done much either. Jaden Daniels, from a rushing perspective, 35 in week 9, 5 in week 10, and 18. So again, last 2 weeks for him haven't been all that great either in terms of rushing the football, but it does seem like that's the edge there, just by a slight. Let's go to Muhammad's question: Lad or Downs? That's Lad.
That's Lad. Yeah, definitely.
Ravens are the gift that keeps on giving fantasy points to wide receivers. Darius Richards, Keenan Allen, or Jalen Coker in the flex?
Oh man, I don't even know where I've got Jalen Coker. Let me check that one out. Yeah, so I got Keenan Allen, wide receiver 43, and Jalen Coker, wide receiver 46. I mean, look, Keenan Allen's not doing much. If you want to shoot for moon, Coker's probably got higher upside, but yeah, it doesn't.
Well, it's not like Caleb Williams throws touchdowns anymore, Tom.
No. Week 6 was it the last time that he threw one?
Since he saw you in London, that's the last time he's thrown a touchdown. 4 weeks ago. Hasn't thrown a pick either, but again, with our touchdowns, I'm less impressed. Nick Mellon, my dogs, PPR rest of season question: am I dropping Tillman for Pittman, QJ, Elijah Moore, Pop, or Pearsall?
I'm not dropping Pittman. I'm not dropping Tillman for any of those guys. I mean, yes, it was a bad game on Thursday, but the weather played a huge part in it. Like Tillman, the rest of the games has been great, and I think that he'll continue that.
Well, he did end up in the concussion protocol, so I know it's a longer week, so maybe you have hope that he plays week 13. If you're fighting for your life, I can understand like the QJ or Pittman. Like I think Elijah Moore is just more of a lateral move. Like I think you wait on that one, and if Tillman is out and you want to pick it to Moore, that's fine. But like I think I'm where Tom is. Also, start Ridley or Waddle or Dowdle in the flex.
I'd start Ridley ahead of Waddle, but yeah, I mean Dowdle probably ahead of both of them, to be honest, because you can run on the Commanders.
Stocky can't decide between DJ Moore and Jennings.
I think I'm going Jennings here. He's still a top 24 wide receiver for me, even without Purdy in the scheme.
All the Brandon Allen smoke today. John K, Drake May, or Stroud?
It's going to be... I think it's still CJ Stroud for me. I mean, look, I put out something on Twitter this week about how he's had as many top 5 finishes over the last 2 years as Jake Browning and Desmond Ridder have had, 2. But it's still CJ Stroud by a couple of places.
That seems like it's incorrect. I think you just made that up. You just made that up. You're just making up stats here, Tom. Hunt or Neighbors in the flex?
I
assume it says Hurt, so I assume you mean Hunt.
Yeah, because I mean, definitely, I'd be going Kareem Hunt there, but it's marginal.
Yeah, I think the workload for Hunt, especially the game script, is probably his favorite.
Yeah.
Doza must win week of the flex. Pollard or QJ? I'm
going Pollard.
Okay, the boss. What's up, y'all? Jennings or Jacoby Myers in the full point PPR?
Man, so it's another one of these where I've gotten really close in my rankings, but I would lean towards Jennings. I mean, I understand if someone wants to go with Myers, but look, the Raiders are a good pass defense.
Gage Gibson, Connor, or KW3?
Man, like, how are we asking that question? Like, I'm struggling to like even field full lineups in some teams, and this guy's got Connor and Kenneth Walker.
Gage is playing in a soft league, and he watches the show every week. That's why.
Kenneth Walker for me, he's my RB6 this week.
Well, here's the fun question. The fun part is that the other RBs he's starting is CMC and Achane, so it's a flex thing. So Gage clearly made a trade, I'm guessing, for CMC at some point. Like that's that's
man, I'm gonna have to start drafting running backs next year.
No, boo! Don't do that. It's a terrible idea. Jordan PPR start 3: Kyron, JT, James, Connor, or Kareem Hunt. Who's the odd man out?
I think it's Jonathan Taylor who I'd bench out of those.
Oh wow! Yeah, it's amazing to say it out loud, but it's not insane.
I mean, Lions a good run defense, aren't they?
They are. Game script not in their favor either. A guy who plays video games: Jared Goff or Baker Mayfield?
Probably going to be Jared Goff, just by like they're back to back, but I've got Jared Goff one spot ahead.
Jamario Harris start Waddle, QJ, or Watson in the full point PPR?
Quentin Johnston.
Okay, let's go to Norlin. Good morning, Quentin Johnson or Dowdle at the flex?
So I go Dowdle here. Yeah, like I said, you can run on Washington. I know last week Zeke ended up getting more snaps than we'd like, but Washington have allowed the 12th most fantasy points. They rank 29th in run defense DVOA.
Next question here from Norland is sit Kittle and Jennings with no Purdy, or the pivot is Disley and Watson. So any changes you want to make there?
I mean, I could understand an argument for Disley, but I'm still starting George Kittle because it's George Kittle. And I think I'd probably lean into just the better players who are Kittle and Jennings.
And then Lamar, Goff. I'm playing Lamar every time.
I mean, it's Lamar.
But, come on. Yeah. God, look at those numbers for Lamar. They've been unbelievable. Sean Miller, Tua, or Richardson. Like, I think Tua is the safer play here, Tom. I really do. Like, Richardson's fun theoretically, but I mean, one game against the Jets doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy.
No, and he struggled against man coverage, and obviously last week was a bit of a different game and all that. But like, yeah, I'd be fine with Tua unless you really need to shoot for upside.
Julie, I mean, Tua might still be the upside though against the Patriots defense. I'm just saying, like at the end of the day, bench one: Puka, Nico, Jennings, Hopkins. What do you want to bench? Jennings or Hopkins? Hopkins.
Yeah, I'd bench Hopkins. Just like he's only still playing about 65% of snaps, and we're just not getting what we need out of him.
Guys, you're playing Nico. Everybody, I see. There's two questions now with Nico. Look, Nico's fine. I know last week was underwhelming. Had that one big play not been called back. We'd be talking much differently. Okay, so you're playing Nico. Don't ask me about Nico. Don't you ask me. We're playing him. Chris, pick two in the full point PPR. Chuba, Javante, Dowdle, or Waddle. Yikes. Chuba's in.
Man, yeah, Chuba's in for sure. Are you trusting Javante?
No, not at all.
I mean, it's a good matchup, but
it is, but I don't trust him. I mean, it's to be honest, like with the way Christian Gonzalez is playing and Tyreek Hill is hurt, I think Waddle is actually in the full point PPR, the interesting one for me here.
I think I'd still lean Dowdle, but yeah, I can like I've just been hurt by Waddle too many times. This point dropped into the
you gotta learn to love again, Tommy boy. You gotta sometimes, sit one from JS, Lad, JSN, Hunt, or Monty.
That's not a fun one. It's probably JSN, but I could understand going with Monty as well. Where do you land on that, Joe?
To be honest with you, I take the question out of the equation, which is, God forbid, last minute, McConkey's like, I'm a no-go. I'm just playing the three guys that are playing today because that game's on Monday night, folks. Like, and you wait, like your options are limited. What are you gonna stream Josh Palmer for the night and hope for the best? Like, give me W's, give me JSN, give me Hunt, give me Monty, give me touches. I think I'm fine there. Just, it's a very tempting matchup, but the circumstance to me, I just don't want to leave it on the table. Don, pick two: Jacoby Myers, Waddle, Odunze, Downs.
So Downs is in for definite for me. So it becomes a case of Myers, Waddle, or Odunze, and yeah, I'd go Myers, but it's not a massive gap between Myers and Odunze for me this week. I've ranked Odunze as the wide receiver one in Chicago this week for the first time.
QJ or Hopkins?
It's going to be Hopkins. Like, okay. I know what I just said before about he's not running enough routes, but maybe he can get out of there and get you a touchdown before. Yeah.
Although they keep winning football games. I mean, I don't think they're going to win this week, but I'm where you are though. I think this is the Kansas City frustration. This is the safe space game for them where they can just kind of let it all hang out. That Ricky, Waddle or Tank Dell?
Tank Dell for me. I know the Titans are pretty good secondary, but like I say, wide receiver 20 for me compared to wide receiver 40 on Waddle.
John Miller, QJ, Dell, Worthy, Coker, Dobbs, Wandale, start two. Who are the two from this conglomerate you want to start?
Well, I'm going to say Dell is my highest ranked one. And then after that, it's probably going to be QJ, yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. Dell and QJ, take your shots there with the best quarterbacks. Leaving things in the hands of Tommy DeVito is probably not a great idea today. Even if it works out well, this is too much variance in there. Dark Helix, good morning, gentlemen. Need help with the QB and wide receiver decision, Jackson or Herbert? Now that's close, Jackson. But still Jackson for me too. And McLaurin, can he redeem himself against Dallas, or should I start Cooper Kupp? I think you start Kupp.
I think you start Kupp regardless, but it's not a bad matchup at all.
No, I mean, Eagles have played well, but he's just going to get a crap ton of targets. That's a real metric, by the way, crap ton. Lindquist, creative. The top of the morning, bros. Half PPR and a tight end and a flex. Schoonmaker or Andrews?
I mean, like, look, I'm a Ravens fan. I'm going with Mark Andrews. I know it was a bit difficult last week with Isaiah Likely, but I'd rather lean into talent there.
Pick two: Rashad White, Bucky Irving, or Dowdle. Who's the odd man out?
I don't like starting both for Bucks. running backs there. So I think I'd probably go Rashad White. He's been a top 24 running back for the last 4 weeks. He's also running for like 4.1 yards per carry this year, which is like way more than like the 3.6 he's managed every other season.
All right, let's get Sergio's question in here. Given that Pacheco is out, would you play Hunt over Flowers?
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
And then with Smith out, would you play Dallas Goedert over Harris and Disley?
Harris, who we going with? It can't be Najee Harris because he's already played.
Yeah, so that's still good.
Yeah, so no, I'd be okay playing Goddard over Will Disley. I think Goddard, he does tend to see a bigger target share when we do have one of the other guys out.
Here's a simple one from Vitamin. Dowdle or White?
Yeah, I don't feel amazing about Rico Dowdle's game environment, so I'd probably just go Rashad White.
All right. Don't forget, everybody, drop your comments below, subscribe to the channel, and you might win free stuff like our latest Trophy Smack giveaway, the Wall Smack. 2 easy steps. You subscribing to the channel, you commenting below. That's it. And of course, the third step, which, is a hidden step there, is make sure you ring the bell till it goes ding and subscribe. That way you never miss a show, and we can alert you if you are the big winner of the latest Trophy Smack Wall Smack giveaway. Look at these things. They're amazing, and they're from Trophy Smack, the #1 epic destination for fantasy football trophies. This is how you show off to everybody else that you love fantasy football, you love your team, you love football, you want all the free things. Well, we got them for you, so go win it today. Next question is Dan. Morning, guys. Need help, 6 and 5, full PPR. I start Goff or Herbert?
So that's going to be Justin Herbert for me. I mean, he's heating up the Ravens defense, like you said. I'd be going with Herbert there by about 5 spots in my rankings.
And then tight end, start Ertz or Laporta?
Man, poor Sam Laporta. It's just,
I know, it went from #1 to Zach Ertz or Laporta. That's where we've gone since September 1st.
I'm still Sam Laporta there by a couple of spots. The Colts aren't a particularly good defense. We know that they give up a decent amount of fantasy points for 7th most of the tight end position. So, yeah, let's pray for a touchdown for Sam Laporta.
And then Downs or D-Hop?
Downs.
Okay. Richard, by the way, winning the Avatar game with the South Park Avatar here. Pick one wide receiver, Jennings, Debo, or Christian Watson.
So, Debo's hurt me a few times this year, but I'm still leaning into Debo as the highest ranked out of those 3.
Agreed. I think you see a lot of Debo and McCaffrey out of that backfield today, and they just run. And Jair Alexander's out for that game too. Guys, I'm telling you, the Green Bay win is not a lock. It's just not. Maybe they come out and they just maybe San Fran is done. Maybe that last week was it. I just don't think it is. I think they know that it's going to be tough, but I don't think they're done. David Berry, half PPR, flex position, DeAndre Swift, Dowdle, Jameis Williams, excuse me.
I think you've probably got to end up starting DeAndre Swift, but he's barely ahead of Rico Dowdle for me. And I mean, the volume is what, I'd give him the volume over JMO, but it doesn't feel good with how much Roshan Johnson mixed in last week.
Moises Garcia, morning. Just want to make sure in Jigba, Sutton, or Downs, it's JSN for me.
Yeah, I'd go with JSN. That game feels like it's going to have plenty of points.
Yep. And that worm has finally turned for him too. I think he's finally got the offense, figure things out. Bo Nix or Jaden Daniels. Sarah's question here. It's Daniels for you, right?
Yep.
All right. Next year is John Williams, full PPR, flex 1, Pollard or Jennings.
I'm going Pollard.
Yep. Take the carries. Danny D, full PPR. Look, Danny Dimes has got time on his hands. He's playing fantasy now. He's got nothing else to do. Full PPR, need 1. Addison, Bateman, Christian Watson.
Yeah, he's just downloaded FanDuel and drafted.
Whatever, man. I'm hanging out. I'm playing some FanDuel today. Whatever. Just being cool. Got some DK. Got some bets going on.
So, yeah, I've got Christian Watson, wide receiver 30. Bateman, I do think it's a sneaky good week for him, would be my second choice there. But Addison, just so flippant.
If you're not on a team, he can bet, right? Like,
I mean, surely, yeah.
Right? He's not on a team anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like a players union thing. Like, he's not in the facility. That's kind of interesting. I never really thought about it that way. Let's go to Shane's question here. Tyreek or McLaurin?
Got to be Tyreek. I mean, look, he said back-to-back touchdowns in the last 2 games. First time all year he's done it. It seems to be getting right.
Rachel, Stevenson or Tracy?
I like Stevenson. Like, the volume he's got over the last few weeks has been really good. I think, like I said, Tyron Tracy, if Tommy keeps taking sacks, then it's going to be hard for Tracy to get that rushing production.
Jennings or Hopkins from Jesse?
Juwan Jennings, man. Like, I'm tired of being underrating Juwan Jennings.
Marco Campos with Purdy out. It's a good thing they spent all that money on Brandon Ayuk. That really turned out to be good money. Well spent. That's so stupid. They should have just traded him and taken more picks. Like, I don't know what they.
Yeah.
And that was before the injuries. I was already going. What's the point here? Marco Campos, Purdy out. Kittle still over Disley.
Yeah. I mean, the way Kittle wins is, it's quarterback friendly.
Sergio, Neighbors, or McConkey?
Let me just double check this one. I think that it's pretty tight for me in my rankings. Yeah, I've got Malik Neighbors about 3 spots ahead of Lad McConkey there. I know that people don't enjoy it, but coming off the bye week, I feel like they're going to find ways to get him going.
I mean, Malik Neighbors, even though he's missed time, nearly has 100 targets on the year already.
Yeah, and
he's not.
He's got one finish worse than wide receiver 32, so he's not been harming you as much as it feels like he might have.
This one's from John. Bro, no, brutal week. Bijan on a bye, Estimate, or Singletary? Yeah, it was a...
I mean, you could make an argument that maybe Singletary sees more volume after Tracy fumbled and cost him the game in Germany, but I think I'd still go with Estimate just because I'm expecting that game to be featuring plenty of garbage time for the Broncos.
This doesn't get prettier. Flex, Coker, Theo Johnson, Slayton, or Westbrook Akinye. Great show. Thanks, John. Appreciate you watching. I think it's Coker. You take your shot, right?
Here. Yeah, definitely. Pass heavy script, and it should lean into that.
And then Akinye will have 2 touchdowns today. Isaias Gutierrez, PPR. Should I start Josh Downs or Tracy in flex?
I'm going Josh Downs. I mean, he's had 4 games over 19 points this year. 2 of them have come in games with Anthony Richardson. I think the way that he wins is still something which Anthony Richardson can help with.
Green Bay or Miami defense? I'm playing Miami against the Pats.
Yeah, going to be Miami. They seem to be getting things figured out on defense at the minute as well.
Ryan Martin, Herbert, or Kyler?
It's Herbert by 1 spot for me.
Drew, Jonnu in nice weather or Harrison in the rain?
I mean, I'm going Harrison. I just, look, I know what Jonnu did last week, but I just don't like starting tight ends in the flex.
Me neither. Hussein, JSN, or Zay Flowers?
I mean, as a Ravens fan, I would automatically lean towards Zay Flowers, but they are only 2 spots separated in my rankings. I've got Zay just ahead. How do you feel on that one,
I
Joe?
got JSN just overhead. So, I mean, I just think that playing the total that game, the 2 brothers know each other very well. It could get a little dicey in there. I just think Arizona, Seattle, if that one doesn't, go over the total, I don't know what does this week. Let's go Theo Johnson or Schoonmaker from Anthem.
I'm going Schoonmaker. I think, what was it, 19% target share last week, and now he gets the whole game without Ferguson.
Yeah, kind of crazy. Consigliere, start 2 receivers, AJ Brown, Jaden Reed, or Malik Neighbors. These are good problems to have.
I mean,
I know Brown's been frustrating, but you got to start AJ Brown.
Yeah, I'm sitting Jaden Reed there. I just
Agreed.
Yeah.
Batmac Gaming, Mandrews or Disley? Back to this one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going Mark Andrews. Yeah.
All right, Shannon's up next here. Good morning, pros. Hurts or Daniels? Oh, it's Hurts. It's always Hurts. And Shannon, this is the thing. If you had Daniels all this time and he had Hurts, once Hurts is past his bye, you've got to trade Daniels because you're never going to play Daniels over Hurts unless tragedy happens and he gets hurt. And if he gets hurt, get what? Your season's probably done anyway, most likely, unless it's a really shallow league and it's hard to trade quarterbacks. But I imagine somebody would have wanted Daniels at some point. And then Hunt or Tracy? Still Hunt.
Yeah. I'm going Kareem Hunt there. Yeah, I had him buried a bit more when I thought Pacheco could play, but definitely now top 12 running back.
And then Neighbors over QJ.
Yep.
So Shannon, next time you have you do such a good job drafting quarterbacks and you realize it, once the one that's better is passed us by, you go ahead and you make that change, especially a rookie, because you just never know how they perform down the stretch. Do they get, found out a little bit? Jalen Hurts, you know what you're getting there. Jason, what's up, bros? Pick 1, PPR, McBride, Otten, or Disley?
It's got to be Trey McBride. I know he doesn't score touchdowns, but Trey McBride, my tight end 1 this week, and again playing the total in that one, worth it.
Mike Barker, happy Thanksgiving to everyone in the Fantasy Bros family. I need 1 wide receiver and a flex between D-Hop, Downs, and Dobbins.
So it's the second, the last 2 for me, Downs and Dobbins. I think Dobbins is definitely going to want to show the Ravens what they're missing out on, and then Downs, who, like I said, feel pretty confident about him.
Matt Cuz, I love Fantasy Pros. Abdullah, Watson, or Disley?
Jeez, I'm going Christian Watson here.
Me too.
You're the most talented player out of those 3.
Still out there. Billy, Neighbors or Sutton? Still Neighbors for me here.
Yep, still Neighbors. I mean, it's definitely getting closer. Sutton is wide receiver 15 for me, I think.
Michael's question. Hey, pros, love you guys. Big week. We're playing for the number 1 and first round bye. Okay, let's go. Pick 2 wide receivers: JSN, QJ, D Hop, Waddle.
I'm going JSN and then D Hop.
Okay. Next up here is let's see, Carlton. Last minute trade offer to me. Should I trade Trey McBride for Marvin Harrison Jr. and Johnu the rest of the season?
I dislike it. I think it's a fair value, and I think that what they've done with John, who seems to be getting him involved consistently and being a big part of the offense. But there's a lot of projecting and hoping that things turn out the right way there.
Julie's question: PPR, Jennings, Hopkins, Pollard, or Hubbard in the PPR?
I'm going Pollard there. Like, I just think that the volume he's going to get, he's had over 10% target share in a huge amount of games this year. And when Spears isn't playing, he sees 20 plus touches.
Daniel's questions here: Dowdle or Eckler?
That's going to be Dowdle for me, but I am a known anti-Austin Eckler person. So yeah.
Jesse Anderson, morning boys, Richardson or Stroud?
I'm going Richardson here. This is where I kind of push him above
fair.
CJ Stroud.
Especially the rushing equity there too for rushing touchdowns potentially. PPR, tight end premium, start 2 running backs in a flex: Tracy, Mondre, Downs, or Goddard.
So Mondre is definitely in there for me. And then I think we're starting 2 running backs in a flex. So it'd be Mondre and Tracy. And then I'd be going Downs over Goddard.
Okay. Next in here is JB. Need a wide receiver 3. Do I start Pittman this week? Depends on you starting him over, but I mean, you can.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's not a bad shout. I've got him as wide receiver 36 in my rankings, so right at the bottom of wide receiver 3 territory.
Here's Trey's question. I have Ladd in my starting lineup, but he's questionable. On my bench is Worthy and D Hop. Should I risk it to have Ladd play or throw D Hop and be safe?
I mean, I'm starting Ladd there. The reports seem to suggest that he's well on track to play in, and I just think that the upside case. But if you just need floor, then go for it.
Open Heart PA, PPR, flex spot: Jennings, Debo, Dell, or Bucky?
Debo.
Still Debo for me too. Avram is back. Moore, Odunze, Watson, Waddle, Dobbs, Douglas, or Dowdle.
Man, that's a lot of names. Let's see. So probably Rico Dowdle for me. And then after that, it'd be, I mean, it's a bit of a drop, but it'd be Christian Watson.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to Randy. Start Cortland Sutton over DJ Moore.
Yes, sir.
According to the tool, too, 80% chance to play for Ladd McConkey. So that is a good number there for Ladd. Stephen Moore, Neighbors or Downs in a half PPR? Still Neighbors for me, I think.
Yep.
Vince is up next. Jennings or Marvin Harrison Jr.?
I'm going Marvin Harrison Jr. there.
Yes.
It's a few spots ahead, and the Seahawks, they just, they should be a better defense given their head coach.
And then this one, also trade Pacheco for Pickens. If you could do that, yes, please. Yeah. I mean, that's absurd if you could do that. Let's go to Q's question here. Hey, pros, Tank Dell or Quentin Johnston?
Yeah, I'm going Tank Dell. I'm quite high on Tank Dell this week. I know the Titans' pass defense is pretty good, but I just think that things are starting to click for him now that Nico's back.
And then start Bucky for J.K. Dobbins, excuse me.
I'm going J.K. Dobbins there. Revenge game narrative. Come on.
Tough run defense, though. They already lowered his number. His number went from 50.5 in Vegas to 45.5. I think that's telling you something.
Yeah, but it sounds like Roquan Smith's going to miss out on this one. He wasn't even able to take part in the walkthrough that they did yesterday. And without Roquan Smith, I think that middle of the field is an area to really hammer.
Nate Iverson, start 2 in a standard. Neighbors, Metcalf, or Kittle?
It's going to be Neighbors and Metcalf for me. Yeah,
100%, especially with the quarterback change. Plug Market Express, half PPR. Purdy out, Debo, likely, or Flowers? I still Debo.
Yeah, I'd still go Debo. Very close between him and Flowers, but likely, definitely not.
From Roy, May or Darnold?
That's going to be Drake May for me. I just think we're starting to see what Sam Darnold really is, and I'd rather chase the upside with May.
Okay. Martin, hi, Tom. What's going on? So it's just for you, Tom. I get nothing here. Half tight end premium, Jonnu or DeVito?
I mean, you've got to go DeVito, surely.
It's
I know
Martin premium, though.
Yeah, I mean, Martin's a Dolphins fan, so I know that he'll be torn on that one, but I'd go DeVito.
All right, Miguel, full PPR, Kittle or Otten? See, I like Otten here. I think it's safer.
Yeah, I think
a ton of volume. Good matchup. Evans is back, which really frees him up a little bit more. He's getting all that work over the middle that Godwin used to get. I like Otten here.
Yeah. No, I
Take
agree
out the
with you there.
variance. You just don't know. Brandon Allen might be terrible. I mean, that's in the range of outcomes, as Debra likes to say. Ronald, Javante or Estime?
It's going to be Javante, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, we could get rug pulled by Sean Payton at any week, but you've just got to lean into what's been going on recently.
Joe, sit one. Jennings, Jennings, Downs, and Irving.
I'd be sitting Bucky here. Where are you at, Joe?
I would agree. I would agree with you there. All right, let's go to Kyle's here. Morning fellas, start 2. Full PPR. We got big play bonus for 100 yards. Waddle, Pop Douglas, Leggett, Christian Watson. Well, if you got bonuses, I mean, Watson's the guy. That's the only guy that can hit a bonus for you.
Yeah, I mean, like what last week? four targets, 4 catches, 150 yards.
Right.
Yeah.
Second question: start Waddle, Jonnu, Dowdle, Addison, or Leggett. I'm starting Waddle here, but I feel like you're going to say Dowdle.
Yep.
There you go, Kyle. Good luck. All right, let's get to Tim's question here. Puka, Ridley, Tracy, or McConkey?
It's got to be Puka. I mean, like, I know the matchup isn't ideal with the Eagles secondary being really good since their week 5 bye, but I'm going Puka. He's still a top 5 wide receiver for me this week.
Peter Valentino, morning bros, love the show. Brandon Allen or Josh Downs in the flex? Super flex.
Oh man, I'm going with Brandon Allen still. Like starting non-quarterbacks in the super flex position, it's always
what do you think you think he's like 13 points for Brandon Allen today?
Yeah,
probably. Can Downs get you 13?
He can, but I mean, the upside with Downs is probably 16 points, 17, 18 points, whereas you could get a 20-point game out of Brandon Allen.
Okay,
I'd like to say there's been plenty of backup quarterbacks gone into this scheme and done well enough over the years.
Hey, Show's friend of the show, Goff or Mahomes?
So I think, it's going to be Patrick Mahomes for me still. Like, I've got him as QB6 this week, and obviously the Panthers can't defend the run or the pass, but I think that the Chiefs put up enough points through the air that you're feeling pretty good about yourself.
Yeah. Look, I mean, you're not wrong if you want to start Goff. You just can't. Goff is fine. He's definitely been safer this year, so I don't have a problem with starting Goff in this scenario. If you just want to win and just not worry about it, like I'm fine with that. Martin, great to see Tom here. Look at you're so popular, Tom. Nobody likes me anymore. They're like, I've seen enough of that guy. Gridiron Guru, Bipocalypse, Help, PPR, Wandale, Coker, or Vele.
I'm going Wandale there. Are you on Coker? I know that.
No, Wandale, 100% Wandale. Let's go. All the Wandale today. Rich, because if you're Tampa, you just go, okay, do everything you can to not let Malik Neighbors beat you. And guess what? Your Malik Neighbors is still going to beat you anyway, probably, but that frees up Wandale theoretically a lot, as long as Tommy DeVito can stand upright and find him.
Well, that's what we were talking about. Like he takes so many sacks. He averaged 6 sacks per game last year. And who's going to be near the line of scrimmage? That's going to be the player that Wandale trying to get him back to the first down line.
Agreed. Also, if you for some reason don't have the time to make the changes you need, don't forget about Autopilot. FantasyPros.com/myplaybook. Autopilot is there to set it and forget it. Let us help your optimal lineup every single week get there automatically, and you'll get instant notifications via email whenever a change is made. So if somebody's out, Autopilot's got you. If somebody's in a better matchup, Autopilot's got you. Again, go to FantasyPros.com/myplaybook or just download my playbook. Sync your leagues for free wherever you get your apps. Let's go back to Rich's question here. Rich Sherman, not to be confused with Richard Sherman. Need help from Paris Airport. Okay, here we go. Montgomery or Jonathan Taylor? Oh, that's Montgomery.
Yeah, it's Montgomery by 1 spot in my rankings.
All the touchdowns, baby. Cyber Maven, full PPR Kraft or Jatavian Sanders?
Man, like Tucker Kraft, the breakout that should have happened and it just never really materialized. I'm still going Tucker Kraft, but I do like Jatavian Sanders because the Chiefs just give up the 5th most tight end fantasy points.
Mm-hmm. Annabelle Robinson, Ramondre Stevenson or Chuba?
I'm going Ramondre.
Okay. Paul, Gino or Richardson?
That's going to be Gino for me.
And then Benson or Abdullah?
I think you probably got to go Abdullah. I think that Benson's one of those guys we could see with a bigger role. Like he mixed in more over the last 2 weeks before the buys. But yeah, I'd go Abdullah. Especially
after the buy, maybe Connor is feeling better. Malo, flex, happy BR, Dobbins, Adunze, or Downs?
I'm going Dobbins.
Okay. Kansas City, Steve, Richardson, or Gino?
Didn't we just do that one? What did we do?
I think somebody else.
Yeah, Gino for me. I just think that game has real
Agreed.
fantasy points potential.
Brian, morning, fellas. Full PPR running Henry and Ken Walker III is my 1 and 2. Need a flex. James Conner, J.K. Dobbins, Chuba Hubbard. Love you. Bye. Still Conner for me in this grouping.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Seahawks, they give up plenty of fantasy points to opposing running backs. The 11th most. They rank like 20th in DVOA against run, and I'd be happy to Connor as like a top 10 back this week.
JS, Bucky, or Tracy, second flex?
I'll go Tracy there just because he's probably going to see a bit more volume than Bucky.
Yep. GR, half PPR, pick one. Tank Dell, DJ Moore, Quentin Johnson.
I'm Tank Dell.
Okay. Cyber, full PPR, Dunze or Jamison Williams? J-Mo.
Yeah, Waymo, J-Mo.
Finally, somebody who likes me. The Sauce. Love you, Joey. Longtime fan. Thanks, Sauce. Appreciate you. There you go. That's for you, Sauce. All right, let's go back to Shannon's got another question here. I could also play both Hunt and Tracy and sit JT. Is that crazy? It's not crazy, but Tom, who do you want to start of those three running backs?
So Kareem Hunt is the auto start there. He's my RB12. And then I've got Jonathan Taylor at RB13 and Tracy at RB15. So you're talking really small differences there, but I'd still be starting Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah. It's a good question, though. Let's go to Tim. Hey, guys, big fan, full PPR. Laddie, Puka, or Ridley?
It's got to be Puka. One of the most talented players in the league.
Andrew, full PPR. Pick two, Otten, Andrews, Leggett. I'm going with the tight ends here.
Yeah, I mean, normally I wouldn't go with the tight ends in the flex, but those guys are good enough that I'd go with that over Leggett. And then when it comes to the defense, I think I'm going Tampa. I mean, I don't dislike either, but I just think Tampa's a more talented defense, particularly if they can upset Tommy Cutlets.
Jackson, pick two, RB and a flex. Kyron is in, so that's one.
Yep.
Then JT, Bucky, Tracy, Downs, Neighbors.
I think it's JT and Neighbors for me.
Agreed. Matt is up next year. Pollard or Hopkins to the flex?
I'm going Pollard just because of that volume and just, yeah.
Peter Valentino, Morning Bros, Brandon Allen, or Josh Downs in the super flex. Still starting quarterback. We did this one before. So
yeah, I'm going Brandon Allen still.
James, PPR, Dobbins or Bucky?
So I've got them back-to-back, running back 21 for Dobbins, running back 22 for Bucky Irvin.
Varun, Mark Andrews or Tucker Kraft? Again, here we go. It's Mark Andrews probably still, but it's close.
It's Mark Andrews for me. I mean, look, the Chargers are a good defense, but I just think that he seems to be getting better as the season goes on. And last week was disappointing, but the Ravens needed to play different personnel groups, and I think that this week it'll be different.
Monkey D, PPR, one wide receiver, Neighbors, and a flex, excuse me. Neighbors, McConkey, Rashad White, Tracy. I'm just playing McConkey and Neighbors here.
Yep, agreed.
Keeping this simple. CSP, Morton Pollard or Kittle in the flex full PPR?
Probably Pollard.
That's the safer play. I mean, that's the guarantee points. I don't know how many they're going to be, but Nick Pike starting Gibbs already. Monty or Brian Robinson Jr.?
I've got Brian Robinson ahead of Monty, so I like Brian Robinson top 12 back for me this week. He's running back 11, Monty running back 14.
All right, that is up next. Kelsey or McBride? Kelsey.
Yeah, Kelsey.
And then Kyler Murray, already starting, but that's okay. Like, I don't worry too much about that. And then full PPR in that. So there you go. I already got that one. Let's go to Javier's question here, guys. I'm stuck. Bucky or Juwan Jennings, half PPR?
I'd go Juwan Jennings. I think, it's risky, but if you need the kind of like safer floor, then Bucky probably has that.
Kyler Murray.
I'd go Jaden Daniels. He's my QB3 this week.
Chris, half PPR, Jaden Reed or DJ Moore? I'm playing Reed.
Yeah, I'd go Reed. Yeah, just DJ Moore just not getting it done.
Well, it's not. Caleb Williams is just not getting it done. Let's be honest. Like, let's not hang this on DJ Moore. Caleb Williams hasn't thrown a touchdown in a month. Let's go to Xavier Worthy or Christian Watson.
I'd go Christian Watson here. Like, I know last week that Xavier Worthy got home, but I'm still Watson by a decent bit.
Agreed. Crispy, White, Eckler, or JMO? JMO.
Yeah, JMO. I like that.
Sean, full PPR, Wandale or Quentin Johnson at the flex? QJ's got more touchdown equity.
Yeah, I'm going Johnston there just because it feels like a better game environment.
Jess, PPR, JSN or Neighbors?
I've got Neighbors ahead of JSN, but you seem quite high on JSN this week.
Well, man, I mean, it's back-to-back 100-yard games. Like, I just feel like, and it's a big total. I don't know, man. Like for this one, I would start JSN because I just feel like I know what I'm getting a quarterback with Gino. And I really don't know what I'm getting with Neighbors and Tommy DeVito. It's something I've never seen before. It's at home. I know the matchup is good, but you can throw that out the window because it's a third string quarterback play. So I think that's my hurdle there is I Neighbors over like certain guys like Coker or whatever. Yeah, okay. Like, it's like certain guys are like, okay, some of these things are no-brainers. I don't think the JSN one is a no-brainer personally. Christian, flex position, Kittle or Myers or Eckler in the full point PPR.
I think it's probably Austin Eckler for me, but that's not a fun one. Would you start Kittle ahead of either of those two?
I don't think I can. I think I just play Myers and kick my points and get out. I just,
okay.
Sometimes I just get the points and get. They're not gonna be pretty points. It's gonna be 12, maybe, but like you get 10, 12. Maybe you get lucky and get a touchdown.
I mean, it's going to be a low-scoring week with all the buys. It's definitely going to be a
buys. The quarterbacks that are playing. I mean, you got Cooper Rush, Tommy DeVito. What could go wrong? Yeah. Debo, Wandale, or DeMario? It's still Debo here.
Debo by a healthy amount there, yeah.
Okay, Ben, Zem, Pollard, or JSN? It's JSN for me.
Yeah, I go JSN.
Let's go to James, Richardson, or Stroud.
I'm Anthony Richardson by a couple of spots there. Like I said, I just don't think that CJ Stroud has the fantasy ceilings that we'd hope you could have.
Javon, Gus Edwards, Trey Benson, Jalen Wright, or Lob? Please help.
Oh man, this is not a fun one. This is a week 12 question for sure. Yeah, I'd probably take the safe points of Gus Edwards unless you really need to shoot for upside, and then it'd be maybe Jalen Wright.
Let's go to Bucking. Start Chuba Hubbard or Quentin Johnson.
Yeah, it's Chuba.
Yeah, I can understand that. Just the sure touches there. Let's go to Zael. I hope I'm saying that right. Drop D-Hop, Jonnu, or Waddle in this half PPR flex. D-Hop, Jonnu, or Waddle.
It's D-Hop for me. Like I think wide receiver 26. Like I say, he's not running all the routes at the minute, but he can probably just be efficient enough in this one.
Let's go to Jeff's question: half PPR, Waddle or Worthy? It's Waddle.
Yeah. That's kind of like the Waddle line for me. It's around there.
Classic. Hey Joey P, full Quentin Johnston or Jennings. I need a win this week. Or wine, or we need both. All right.
Don't need wine.
So I'm going Jennings. Yeah, Tom's already maxed out on the wine. We know that. So you're gonna go Jennings here, right?
Yeah. Are you playing Quentin Johnston for the matchup?
Yeah, because one has Justin Herbert. Like, I'm sorry, like that's the defining moment for me. Like, could Jennings be good? Sure. Johnston just has a higher bar for that with Justin Herbert against the Ravens. Again, the gift that just never stops giving every game. X Watson or Hopkins?
Hopkins, right? Yeah, I'm going Hopkins by a few spots there.
Big Fortnite bro, Tampa or Houston for defense?
Obviously, we've done a bunch of these where we've gone towards Tampa. Houston had a really nice week last week, but I don't think that I could play them ahead of Tampa this week.
Agreed. L. Robinson, half PPR, Roshan or Dobbs?
I'm going Dobbs. Like just the way that Dobbs gets points, it's not particularly great, but it's a little more secure.
Garrison, can you please set my lineup? Connor, Montgomery, Quentin Johnson, Jameson, Williams, Disley, Irving on the benches, Jennings and Leggett. All right, so Connor, Montgomery are in. Quentin Johnson, Jameson, Williams are in. And I assume it's like a 2 wide receiver. That's why we're getting this. And then like, who's the flex here?
Yeah, so I mean, well, is it not just asking, are we putting Jennings or Leggett ahead of any of the guys who are currently in?
Well, I mean, but if Bucky Irving is the flex, would you play Jennings over him? I think
I'd play Jennings over him. Yeah,
that I can understand. That one I get. I totally get that one. Bucky might have more touchdown equity, but I get that. IB, Tua or Knicks?
That's going to be Bo Nix for me. The rushing floor, I know we haven't seen it the last couple of weeks, like you mentioned, but I think the Raiders are going to try and light him up a bit today. They play more cover zero than anyone in the league. He's not done terribly well against cover zero, and I think he'll just try and get out of dodge.
Dobbins, Pollard, and Jennings at 1.
That's where I sit Jennings.
Okay. Let's take on the carries and get out. Brian, Aaron Jones or Eckler?
Yeah, Aaron Jones been disappointing the last couple of weeks, but I'd still start him ahead of Austin Eckler.
John, PPR sit 1, Pollard, DJ Moore, Jennings, Ramondre.
I'm sitting DJ Moore there. I just don't know how you can have any faith in DJ Moore for the reasons you mentioned about Caleb.
Varun, thanks, lads. JMO Downs, Tyreek, D Hop, pick 3. Well, if I have Tyreek Hill, I have to play him, period. JMO's the other guy I got to play, and then D Hop or Downs for you.
I'm going Downs. I feel good enough about Downs and the way he's playing with Anthony Richardson.
Mark Andrews or Jatavian Sanders, full PPR.
It's Mark Andrews. Like, I mean, you're asking the wrong person, maybe.
The wrong
but I'm
guy.
Still Mark Andrews.
Thanks, guys. Downs or Debo? It's Debo.
Debo.
All right. Next is Eric here. Dowdle, Debo, or Quentin Johnston?
It's Debo. It's Debo. We're going with
Ooh,
Debo. The way he plays is quarterback friendly.
That's that, but people are freaking out. Oakley, half PPR, Quentin Johnston, Dobbs, or Hopkins?
Well, I think I have to go Hopkins there, but it's a tough one. Are you with me on Hopkins there?
I think Hopkins is fine against Carolina. Like, though we're talking about quarterback play, I mean, still Mahomes. I know last week was disappointing, but this is definitely the get right game there for them. Mark L, Hopkins or McConkey?
We're going, lad. Let's say top of the show. The way McConkey wins is where the Ravens have been most vulnerable, and with Roquan Swift trending towards being out, like that opens up the middle of the field even more.
Mark, Dowdle or Wan'Dale Robinson?
I'm going Rico. I mean, still top 24 back for me. You can run on the Commanders. They give up plenty of fantasy points to running backs.
Mustang Susie, Goff or Knicks?
Bo Nix.
All right. Marlon, Quentin Johnson or DJ Moore? Playing QJ.
Yep, QJ.
I have offenses that score touchdowns. Braden Smith, flex, Hunter Henry, or Adunze?
Man, I think it's probably Hunter Henry, even though I don't really like the tight end in the flex.
I don't like to start tight ends at flex either, but I think in that scenario, that's what you do. We got that one. So let's go to Ronald, Kyler, or Knicks?
Yeah, I'm going Kyler there. Like, it's by a couple of spots.
Riaz, non-PPR, Pittman or Keenan Allen? I got to try Pittman there.
Yeah, I mean, Keenan Allen, like I had a lot of Keenan Allen coming into the season, but it's just the guy's toast.
JP27, Houday, Jennings or Waddle?
Jennings, I'm a good bit higher on Jennings than I am Waddle.
The DeBlasi, we're 10-1, playing a 9-2 team.
Nice.
To solidify that. There you go. We're going for it. Huge decision. Flex Lamb, Sutton, or Otten? That's Lamb.
It's Lamb. I mean, like, look, last week
targets a game.
That's it. I mean, obviously, last week you got 62 dropbacks from Cooper Rush. You're probably not going to get that every week, but it was enough for him to get 12 targets, and that's what we want.
All right. What we want is for us to take a quick break. When we return, we're going to pass things off here to the Welsh and Pat Fitzmaurice. They're going to take you through the next hour. And again, super chats will be up guaranteed in the first 10 minutes. So get those super chats in. Don't go anywhere. More Fantasy Pros starts it live stream for week 12 coming at you right after this quick break about our Discord.
Yeah, we're all passionate about fantasy football, obviously. But sometimes there is a little bit missing. What's missing? A team. But not your fantasy team. No, a team of like-minded, passionate fantasy football fans. And if that is not part of your everyday, Fantasy Pros Discord might be your answer. Chat with other fans, debate strategies, and find leagues to join. Every week, get your questions answered live in our AMA live Discord sessions. Want to know if you should start that sleeper or avoid a risky trade? Our experts, they're here to help. And if you got a question, you might even end up on a podcast. It's not just about advice, though. It's about community, with channels for every aspect of fantasy football, draft advice, waivers, props to dynasty, best ball, and a ton more. You're going to find like-minded fans just like you. So join the best fantasy team. Join Fantasy Pros on Discord at fantasypros.com/chat today. Get your questions answered and connect with fans. Don't just play fantasy football, live it with Fantasy Pros on Discord. What's up, friends, from me to me? Hello, and welcome into Hour 2. It is start and sit for Week 12. Big time, big questions. I am Chris Welsh. That is the glorious Pat Fitzmaurice. Pat, it's good to see you, Pat. What's up, buddy?
Good to see you, Mr. Welsh. Good morning to you. Are you ready for Week 12?
I could not be more ready because I've said during the week, like, it is crunch time in like fantasy leagues, but also if you played in any big best ball tournaments or high stakes leagues, this is it. I got 2 FFPCs that are both playoff bound, Pat, and this is the final week of the regular season. I've got one, and I'm headed to the playoffs in both of those and the Fantasy Pros online championship. And then also in the DK Millie Maker, the 15 million guaranteed, I have one that is in first place vying for a playoff spot. Nice. So as much as it's like, we got to get to the playoffs, I know there are some of us that it's like, this is it. And then we're pushing for real cash. How about you, buddy?
Heck, I mean, in the Scott Fish Bowl, the playoffs start this week, Welsh, and I managed to qualify. So I just have to be one of the 1,500 out of the 2,000 who advance onto the second week of the postseason.
That is wild. Well, we are here to, maybe we'll answer some questions on our own teams, but we're here to answer you guys. What you can do, load up the chat. We're going to be going through the chat all day. If you got like a burning start and sit question, you can hit the super chats. We're guaranteeing those for the first 10 minutes. If it's well paced, you're probably fine. You're probably fine throughout the rest of the day. I think Joey and them pretty much got all of them. But, you want guarantees. Load up a super chat in the first, I'd even say 10 or 15 minutes. We will guarantee that. And as we go along, I will hit the super chat off of the next question. So if you want it right away, you want to be in the super chat. If not, don't worry. Load up your questions in the chat. We are going to be getting through a bunch of them with all of your stuff for the week. But super chat, just an extra little push. Mr. Pat Fitzmaurice, are you ready to roll? We ready to roll?
Let's rock, Welsh.
All right, let's get into this. Let's start with a couple super chats here. Lucas in here. Debo or Downs, half PPR?
Oh, man, I'm still going Debo here. I know Downs had a nice game with Anthony Richardson last week, but Richardson's averaged like 11 completions in his starts before last week. I think it'll be better going forward. I still feel a little bit better about Debo, even with the backup QB. Just think he's going to be heavily involved. Like, they're going to need to do a lot of passes close to the line of scrimmage. Seems like this is actually a pretty good setup for Debo. Plus, Edgerrin Cooper, the Packers' excellent rookie linebacker who would be in charge of tackling Debo on a lot of those short completions. He's out today. Good setup for Debo, I think.
I completely agree. I last week was espousing, it's Juwan Jennings over Debo with Brock Purdy. Not in this stage. We don't know what Brandon Allen's going to be. And our best guess is Brandon Allen is going to go into what you said, short, intermediate, quick decisions, not going to be trying to go through progressions. So that bodes well for Christian McCaffrey. I think Debo, as you mentioned, Debo's the short line guy. And if they have a little bit more time, that's where it's going to progress to Kittle and then Juwan Jennings. Juwan Jennings, they're going to want to get the ball into his hands, but this is a Debo game for me. So I moved Debo above Juwan Jennings. I love the play here. And by the way, what is DKK? You see that? Like, that's like what the money is. What's the DKK? That name also looks, I need to know what DKK is. Somebody translate that.
Kroner? I don't know.
Ooh, I think you might have got it. That's why you're here. That looks like a Dutch kroner or crooner.
Kroner.
Like, you ever see that bit? Like, they're trying to take my hat. Like Kroner. Driving Kroner. All right. Trail. Wide receiver 2, Quentin Johnston, Josh Downs, or Jameson Williams? This is a great question because I have Jameson and Downs in one of my FFPCs. I currently have Jameson in. I currently have Jameson in one spot higher than Josh Downs. But I'm really torn between this because we know that Jameson can kind of disappear sometimes. This game, my worry, could get a little out of hand before Jameson Williams could get cooking. And then the inverse also would be Josh Downs, like, as weird as this team could be, he looks like he's the number one. He's the force of target. So I've talked myself both ways out of this. What say you, Pat? I think this is Downs versus Jameson more than Quentin Johnston, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I've got Jameson ranked wide receiver 21, Downs wide receiver 26, Quentin Johnston wide receiver 27. So I've got all three guys within 6 spots of each other, which means it's really close and really hard to drill down on who the right guy is. But the Lions offense has just been so good. And I do not dislike this matchup against the Colts at all. Like, the only concern is that the target volume isn't always great for Jameson Williams, but this guy does not need a lot of targets to make hay. Like, I mean, his efficiency as far as yardage per catch, yardage per target has been through the roof. Downs, again, I do have a few concerns about Anthony Richardson being back at quarterback. I don't know what the target volume is going to look like. And with Quentin Johnston, it seems like a great matchup against the Ravens. But one thing that Johnston has kind of struggled with in his career is press coverage. And I know that the Ravens do like to be physical with their big cornerbacks. Like, they do want to get their hands on you. they're not going to give QJ the sort of release he was getting against the Bengals when he had that nice game the other week. So I'm just not quite as high on him, although he could go off and maybe we don't get Ladd McConkey, which enhances his outlook. But I think Jameson is the best play.
It's who I've got in. I'm really worried. I kind of want to just step away from it because I don't want to talk myself out of it. I don't like the worst feeling on the planet would be like, I got Jameson in and then I talk myself off and I put Josh Downs in. One of the arguments also for Josh Downs is that secondary for the Colts. But that secondary for the Lions is what you can do. You can throw in it in garbage time, and
Slot.
Slot, and there's potential garbage time out there. I will say on the Fantasy Pros consensus ranks that you guys can check out if you want to check out right now, fantasypros.com/rankings. Josh Downs is the play. He's at 22. Jameson is at 24, and Quentin Johnson is at 26. But Jameson and Downs are wide receiver 2s. We're both going Jameson. The consensus says a little bit higher, but you know what? Pat, I think, was in the top 9 like 2 weeks ago. So listen to Pat Fitzmaurice. That's what I've always said. That's my advice to everybody. When in doubt, listen to Fitz. Let's hit a couple more super chats, and then we are going to keep rolling on. Michael, projected to win by 20 points, but wants security. Wants to secure the dub. I think you mean Calvin Ridley or Watson for my wide receiver 3. Thank you, fellas. You are welcome, Michael. I think if security is what you want, Calvin Ridley is what you need. Christian Watson and guarantees floor, those don't go together. He could have a big game, but he could also have a 0, 1 for nothing. Calvin Ridley is the number 1 in that offense. So this is a clear Ridley, and I feel like I speak for you, Pat.
You do speak for me, Welsh, and if it was the reverse and he was projected to lose by 20, then maybe I'd consider Watson. But even then, I think I'd probably still go Ridley. I think Ridley he's just been getting so many targets week after week after week, whereas Watson, his target counts have been all over the place and usually pretty low.
Henry is in the house. PPR, leave 1 out. So we're sitting 1. We've got Neighbors, we've got Marvin Harrison, we've got JSN and Rashad White. So I feel tempted that I'm probably going to sit the running back. I really like Bucky this week, though. Rashad White's going to live on the receptions. I don't see in a scenario where you can sit any of those wide receivers in a full PPR. So I think there's actually more I look at this is clearly Rashad White to me. But what say you, Pat?
No, I'm with you, Welsh. I would also sit Rashad White. I think Harrison Jr. in full PPR is maybe the guy who would be on the chopping block among these wide receivers, but still, it's a pretty good matchup against Seattle. And, even if they get some of the rainy weather we're talking about, I think I'd still rather play Harrison Jr. than Rashad White.
By the way, update, Pat Fitzmaurice, very, very smart if you weren't already aware. The DKK was not a DraftKings coin. It was a Danish krone, as you said.
Danish.
Absolutely. Oh, but isn't that what you said?
I said Dutch. Danish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you were pretty damn close. So that was pretty good. So Danish krone. Sounds like a wonderful breakfast. That is what that was. All right. So let's keep rolling through here. Let's see. We just did Henry's. Jose, sorry. You just sent it to us, but send us a question and show it to us and we'll try to get it up. 2 socks, better than 1. Flex, Juwan Jennings, DJ, or Javonte Williams. Who's DJ?
I can assume it's DJ Moore.
DJ Moore. Okay. Yeah.
Because if it's Deontay Johnson, then forget it. But yeah, so we'll
That's
assume
what got me. That's what got me. I'm like, no.
We'll assume it's DJ Moore. So I've dropped Jennings, Welsh. When I thought it was going to be pretty, I had Jennings at wide receiver 15, 16. Now I've got him down at 23. Okay. And I think Javonte is probably the safest play now. What I worry about with Jennings, he's been sort of I don't know, he does really well against man coverage. But Brock Purdy is willing to trust him when he's not got 5 yards of separation, and he's not going to get that because he's not the fastest guy in the world. I just don't know whether that same level of trust is going to be there with Brandon Allen. I think Javonte and his relatively safe floor of 10 to 12 touches is probably the way to go here. 2 socks.
I think this is pretty close. I do want to point out, with Juwan Jennings, I agree that he's their deeper field option. Niners really haven't been going deep much this season. When they do, it's Juwan Jennings. How comfortable Are they really going to be doing this with Brandon Allen? I do think Kyle Shanahan believes he is smarter than everyone in the world at all times. So he will totally like galaxy brain, like, oh, we're going to play action and go 50 yards deep. The Packers, I was about to say this is kind of a Pat Fitz versus me matchup, Packers and Niners. Your secondary is kind of banged up. I believe Jairus Alexander's not playing in this game.
Correct.
So I do want to open up that Juwan Jennings is a phenomenal separator. And there's the potential that they will try to do this down the field thing that they do with Purdy, and Jennings might have something. So I got to tell you, like, I probably am. I'm lower on Jennings too. I had him at like 13 or 14. And then when Purdy was out, I moved him like right around 20 or 21. Consensus, he's 23. I don't trust Denver backfield. I love Bo Nix in this game. I do not love Denver running backs ever. And I don't trust DJ Moore. So this is Juwan Jennings for me more begrudgingly than if this was like 2 days before Purdy got hurt. I'm like, dude, this isn't even a question. But you're asking the question because of the Purdy situation. So
yeah, it is close. So we can't give Two Socks a clear answer. I think we both like those guys over Moore. The Bears just didn't throw a pass that went more than like 10 yards past the line of scrimmage last week. That's my concern with DJ Moore. Like there was no downfield component to their passing game in their first game without Shane Waldron as the OC.
Important sock question. High socks or low cut socks? Under ankle or over ankle?
I'd much rather wear the low socks, Welsh, but up here in the Chicago area, I'm pretty much forced to get into the high sock territory this time of year. This is usually about when the changeover hits, right around Thanksgiving, when the temperatures start to plummet.
1,000% low cut sock only. If
well, you're in Arizona, you have that luxury, my friend.
Yeah, blow your mind. No socks, sandals. I'm one of those type of guys in Arizona. But long socks would be it. And shout out to Steve Madden. Those are my favorite long dress socks. So, but I don't like that in general. But it's always got to be low. So don't disagree. B. Braun film, PPR, Chance, McConkey. Oh, Chance, McConkey, and flex, or should I run Bucky?
Oh man, I really want to play lad here. Like I think there's a big gap in their outlooks, you know, a guy in a split backfield versus a guy who is phenomenal against getting open and he's exactly the kind of guy that's going to give the Ravens defense nightmares. So I want to play lad. I would say just try to like pick up some sort of safety measure if you can in that game, whether even if it's like Deontay Johnson, if you have to, or Bateman or Josh Palmer, like do something. But I would make a full-fledged effort to get McConkey into your lineup this week.
Lad's my pick, but I think I like Bucky more than Joey and Tom. I was listening to a little bit of their first hour, and it didn't seem like either one of them were super into Bucky. I am. I think Bucky is going to get a good run on the ground, and I think he's going to score a touchdown today. So I like Bucky a lot more, but I really like Lad. Lad's like he's the number one dude. And that what is the thing you can do against Baltimore, if anything? You can pass. You know, receivers can kind of eat. We're going to do one more super chat here for a second, and then we're going to hit a few of the other questions in the queue, and then we're going to go back to the super chat. So everybody's in that queue. I'm guaranteeing you're getting locked in, and we got room for more if you have those burning questions. But let's hit this big super chat here real quick. This is from Ryan. Start 2, speaking of Bucky, Debo, and Juwan Jennings. Debo, we're locking in. We're both locked. I've got Debo as a wide receiver 12, top 12 this week. You probably have him somewhere in the vicinity, probably top 15. We're going to lock Bucky. We're going to lock Debo in. So Bucky or Juwan Jennings now.
All right. For the record, Welsh, I have Debo at, I believe, wide receiver 16 right now.
Make me look bad, man. Come on.
Actually, I take that back. I've got him at wide receiver 19.
Oh,
so
so stupid.
He's not that far ahead of Jennings for me, but he is ahead of Jennings, and I don't really want to play both 49ers receivers with a backup. Like you, Welsh, I think we're both higher on Bucky Irving maybe than Joe and Tom are. I mean, I think Bucky's safely put him down for about 13 to 15 touches every week, and it seems like he and Rachaad White both get that solidly. Maybe they get a slightly reduced outlook for touches with Mike Evans back, but I still think the outlook is pretty good in a good matchup against the Giants. So Debo and Bucky for me.
Yeah, when they blow out the Giants in the second half, they're just going to be running the ball, and that's going to work in favor of Bucky. So I agree with you. I'm Bucky and Debo in this one. Hurts, Doesn't feel good. I want to start Jennings. It hurts. All right. We will come back to the super chats here in just a minute. So if you've got any others, you can load those in. Let's hit a few that we're lucky enough to get in the queue. You guys can continue rolling in your questions. We've still got 45 minutes for you before we are out of here. And we'll also keep an eye on if there's any lock information. I feel like we didn't get anything last week, but we'll see if there's any good stuff or any big questions that pop up. Mark, thank you, Fantasy Pros. Appreciate. It's just an appreciation one. Good job on 8-3. That's pretty sweet. Let's see, Jeffrey, Hunt or Brian Robinson?
Without Pacheco, got to go Hunt here in the matchup against the Panthers, who give up more fantasy points to running backs than any other team.
Yep, this is Kareem Hunt, my friends. I don't even know if Pacheco is active. This would have like really changed. This to me is like the final Kareem Hunt gets to eat game. Good matchups for both of them. It just going up against Carolina, and Kareem Hunt's the guy. It might go so well that we see steal later in the game. So I'm going to go with Kareem Hunt as well. Aaron Jones or Quentin Johnston in PPR?
Aaron Jones, pretty easy choice for me.
I'm not as big as Quentin Johnston on the others, though it's not awful. Aaron Jones, though I am having to, in absolute desperation, start Cam Akers in a spot this week. Absolute desperation, just Hail Mary play, and it doesn't feel good whatsoever. So hopefully Aaron Jones isn't quite as good. Robbie says Drake or Caleb have Allen on a bye.
I'm going with Drake May. Again, Welsh, I did not see Caleb Williams throw a pass that went more than like 10 yards downfield. I'm just worried that they have nerfed that passing game with the new offensive coordinator, Thomas Brown. And like Drake May is pretty consistently put up points, and like he runs. And I feel pretty good about Drake May, even though the Miami pass defense has been much better than the Miami run defense.
Caleb's not even an option for me here, especially if you have something viable. So this is easy Drake May. Batman Griffin, Peter. McConkey, Hopkins, or Wandale. I'm assuming we start one.
I'm going with Ladd here, and the order would be Ladd, Hopkins, and Wandale. Like I don't ever want to play Wandale. Welsh. I mean, like even if Neighbors was out, which he's not, like I mean, yeah, Wandale might catch 7 passes, and they're going to go for 36 yards. No thanks.
Did you say do you have McConkey or Hopkins higher?
Ladd.
Okay. I don't want to fall into the trap. I'm a little Hopkins-y this week because of this Carolina matchup. I probably still go Ladd. Let me see what the consensus says. The consensus is 15 on Ladd and Hopkins at 29, so it's not close. We're both at Ladd. I just like Hopkins a lot more than ECR does, but
so do I.
Yeah. Go with Ladd, Peta. Amadeo? There we go. Got it. Dowdle or Hunter Henry at flex PPR? You got to go back over tight end.
Yeah,
right?
I think so. I mean, I know the Dallas offense has been pretty gross with Dak out, but I do think you have to go Dowdle here.
Kind of same one. Full PPR, Dowdle or Jennings?
It's a little tougher, man. I'm inclined to go Jennings here. I don't know about you, Wells. And I know like the Jennings, it's been so spectacular. He's averaging like 88 yards a game in his 4 starts this year. But even with the QB downgrade, I think I'd rather have him than Rico.
Yeah, I mean, look at what Rico was last week. Like they couldn't get anything going. Second half, by the way, they just stopped using him. It was like Deuce Vaughn, a little bit of Elliott, so that worries me. So Jennings might be safer if it's a competitive game. Then Dowdle, I think, is a reason to be excited about it. I'm just not so sure it's going to be competitive. All right, let's jump back to some super chats. Let's get to Greg. Anthony Richardson or Sam Darnold? Have a great day, gentlemen. I hope you do too, Greg, and hopefully we are championship hunting. So what say you? Anthony Richardson, I know he's been a very popular, me and Tom used to do this. Usually Tom is my partner here. We would do the all question team. And I think Juwan Jennings is probably our wide receiver for our all question week 12 team. Anthony Richardson is probably our all quarterback question for week 12 team. On ECR, he's jumped up. Wow. He's jumped up to quarterback 9 this week. That is a huge boost. And Sam Darnold's down at 17. When Pat and I do the rank show together, when we did the show, he was like 13 or 14. He has moved dramatically up over Geno, over Baker. I've been kind of pro Anthony Richardson. I'm not sure I'm that pro, but in this case, I'm going with Richardson. Either A, if it's competitive because you can pass against the Lions, voila, on Richardson, or they're getting blown out and they're playing from behind and it's garbage time and they're slinging the ball. Richardson also with his legs. I think he is QB 12. I don't know, 9, but I'm clearly going him here. What say you, Pat?
Yeah, I'm with you, Welsh. I'm pretty far below consensus on Richardson, and it is a matchup that concerns me a little bit, but I do like him more than Darnold, who also has a tough matchup this week against the Bears. And I just, no guarantee that Richardson doesn't lay an egg and have the sort of passing game he was having earlier in the season, but it does look like the reset that he got when he was benched for 2 games seems to have helped him. I really like the strategy they were using last week with a lot of run pass options and a lot of play action. It seemed like it was a much quicker and shorter throws and not just Richardson winging it deep downfield into double coverage. So I'm cautiously optimistic. And even if he doesn't have the passing game you're hoping for, the rushing helps raise up the floor a little bit.
100%. Forgot to tell you guys about this in the beginning. Every live stream, I like to tell you at the forefront, and we tell you pretty much every show we do, we like to give stuff away. And if you weren't here at the beginning of hour 1, we are giving that right there, that away, because we are teaming up with our friends over at Trophy Smack to give away something truly epic this week. It is the large fantasy football wall smack of your choosing. These magnetic metal wall plaques aren't just wall art. They're statements placed that everyone know how passionate you are about fantasy football. Whether you go with the sleek floating style or the bold poster style, Wall Smack is the perfect addition to your fan cave. To enter, all you've got to do is subscribe to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel right now, which you're on. Drop a comment below on any of the videos, not just this one, but you are here asking questions. Ask one question and subscribe. You're done. That's it. That is all you've got to do. We'll be announcing a winner right here on the channel, so make sure to turn on notifications so you can know when new videos are up and you can claim that incredibly awesome wall smack. That Patrick Mahomes one is awesome, and as is that Justin Herbert. I really like those. Go and check it out today. Let's do it. All right, let's get to some more questions. Marcos, full flex PPR, Monty, Hill, Debo, Hop, Jacobs. Oh, so wait, is this just one in that? I don't like flex. Yeah. He says flex, so I'm assuming this has to be one. How can those 5 be the option for the flex? You are playing in a 2-man league, if that's the case.
Yeah, the top 2 for me, Welsh, in full PPR would be Tyreek Hill and Josh Jacobs. And I just think you get the more sturdy floor with Josh Jacobs, who's actually getting pretty good usage in the passing game for the Packers lately, too. So I tend to think Jacobs is the safer option. I like Hill a lot, and I've got him ranked like top 5 at receiver this week. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to acknowledge the risk here with a dude who's playing with a torn ligament in his wrist. And, I do like the matchup against the Patriots, and Tyreek is due for one of those games where he just goes off. But I think you get a pretty nice floor ceiling combo with Josh Jacobs.
I'm not going to let you guys get me with Tyreek Hill this week. I will not be offering myself as tribute. I will say that Erickson and I are on the waddle. Did you see that meme that we put out? If you guys follow us on socials at Fantasy Pros, and it's the clown with got to put Waddle in. I was like, why didn't you guys just do a 2 clown and just at me and Erickson? Because we're pro Waddle this week. His receiving yard prop is going down, by the way. But we're both thinking like Gonzalez is going to shadow Tyreek Hill. Doesn't mean he's still not going to blow past him. Love Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is probably the play. Here's my only problem with this one. Touchdowns are really, really probably the most difficult thing to project or predict. But like Dave Montgomery is going to rush for 2 touchdowns today. Like I have a hard time not like the full PPR side of this is where I can go back to Hill, or I even like Jacobs because of his involvement there. But man, if I were to give you that list and say who is the most likely to score a touchdown, you're going to say Dave Montgomery, right?
Yeah, the only thing is if Monty doesn't score a touchdown today, I know the odds are overwhelming. He does. He probably finishes number 5 on this list in fantasy points.
Maybe. Yeah, you're not wrong. I would go Hill 1, Monty 2, then Jacobs. I'm very pro Monty, and then Debo, and then Hop. So I didn't quite know what you were asking. If you were asking one, I guess we both unanimously are saying Tyreek Hill, but we also give you a little bit of a ranking there. Jose, this was your question, I think, from earlier. Dobbins, Hubbard, Ridley, Reed, pick 2 half PPR.
I'm going
it's not
with
Hubbard.
Yeah, I mean, his matchup is tough. Dobbins' matchup tough too, because the interior of the Chargers have 2 great tackles, but the inside of their line is not great. The Ravens are just brutal up the middle to run against. So, like, I worry about Dobbins. Don't love the Hubbard matchup either. I think I'm probably just playing the 2 receivers, Welsh.
I think I am too.
Reed for sure. I maybe like Hubbard a little more than you do, just because he has pass catching as an out. Although we know how the Chiefs are just a really tough matchup for running back. So, yeah, I think Ridley and Reed are the plays here.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of under bets. I put hyper focus. We have our joke on Betting Pros. Erickson and I with Pisapia do the prop show every week on Fridays. And props are great, especially for fantasy translation. You're talking about production and how you can end up betting that. And he's the Undertaker, Andrew Erickson, the Andrew Underson. I'm Is It the Over? That's kind of how we work. But this week I had 2 unders, 2. And one of those is Chuba Hubbard because he's going up against the Chiefs. 53.5 yards is his projected rushing total. Already that's not great. The Chiefs have given up that once to a running back this entire season. And that was against the 49ers and Jordan Mason. And it was 58 yards. So it's a horrible number in general. Chiefs stop everybody at the run. I don't see why Chuba is going to end up doing that. Receiving side changes the game, and garbage time can kind of change us as well. We are going to see, it looks like Jonathan Brooks. I don't know. Maybe you do like him more. I'm out, but I think we came back together to say we both agree on the wide receivers. Jaden Reed topping out the 49ers, bad secondary, Ridley being the number 1. This kind of makes some sense. Also, I'd point out, if you guys want, if you are on the betting side, I'm going to give you 2 things here. One, Betting Pros is giving you a free month, 1 free month of access to their premium tools on the Betting Pros app. Go and check it out. Download Betting Pros on your app store. Use FP free. There you go, right there. Free trial for 1 full month to unlock all the amazing tools. Boom, do it. No reason not to. You can follow Pat. You can follow me. Also, we have exclusive bets we put on there. I have one of my favorite bets of the week that did not make the prop show. That is the featured bet on the Betting Pros app. You download it, you do the click picks at the bottom, and you will see my featured bet that you can only find on the Betting Pros app. And I love it. I love it more than placing an under on Chuba Hubbard. So FP free, unlock a free month, download Betting Pros. It is a great app. All right, let's get to it. Ooh, it's a quarterback play too. I'm going to give you that hint. It's a quarterback play for that, Pat. I think you would love it. I really do. I don't know if you've looked at the featured picks, but I think you would support my pick here. All right, Shannon. Hi guys. Sit 1. PPR. JT Hunt Tracy.
All top 15 options for me. All between running back 10 and running back 14. I think Tracy is the low guy for me. Just not super excited about the offense in general. I can't sit JT. He's just too good. And I think Richardson being there improves his outlook, and Hunt in that matchup, you have to play.
I believe Shannon had this question to the other guys and probably getting just our opinion on it as well. They were trying to kick around, or there was conversation of kicking around, sitting JT. Nope, not doing that. I do not know what the Giants. I think that Tracy can benefit from whatever is going to go on in this offense, but I don't trust it, and I'm not sitting JT to find out. So
don't sit the guy who's the best player without question of the 3.
Exactly. All right, hitting some more super chats, and we'll hit a few more questions, and then back to the super chats. We're definitely in not necessarily guaranteed range, but every super chat that is currently up, I will guarantee we are going to hit of the current ones that are here. Let's hit a couple of these. Daniel, Geno or Love, and then Stafford or Anthony Richardson.
I have Love ranked higher. I know he hasn't been really hot, only 1 touchdown pass in his last 3 games, but the touchdown thing can be streaky. He was averaging like 3 touchdowns a game over the early part of the season. So I'm going Love there. And I actually have Stafford ranked ahead of Rich. And I know people are terrified of the Eagles pass defense, but I thought I heard someone say that Stafford has played 20 games in his career or something against Vic Fangio defenses and is averaging 260 passing yards and 2 touchdowns in those games. And I always feel good about Stafford as long as he has Puka and Kupp both healthy. I don't really care about the matchups that much. So if you're telling me Puka and Kupp can't get open against rookie cornerbacks, Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, no, I don't believe that. So I'm starting Stafford over Richardson. I just think he's safer.
It's just is the defensive line in Stafford's face giving him any time. Funny, the consensus quarterbacks are the opposite too. It's Geno and AR. Those are 9 and 10 on ECR. I would also lean Love, even though Geno is 10, Love is 13. I would go with Anthony Richardson with the rushing upside and that secondary against the Lions. But I don't completely disagree with your take on the Rams. I have the Eagles in that game, but Rams are going to keep it competitive. They've probably, what's a better 2 wide receiver duo in the NFL right now than Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua? You can make arguments people like T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, Smith and AJ Brown. What am I forgetting here, Pat? Can you think of one? Is there a better duo wide receivers?
No, I think that's number 1. Personally, and some other really good ones for sure, but I think that's probably the top 2 when they're healthy.
Yeah. Jesse, flex Josh Downs or Jennings and then start Kraft or Sanders. I am Downs and Kraft here.
Yeah, right now I've got Jennings ahead of Downs in the rankings. If this is PPR, I think I'd probably flip Downs ahead, close enough that I'm willing to defer here, Welsh. And people have pointed out that the one place to attack the Lions is with slot receivers. They do not cover slot receivers well. So maybe this is a Downs week. And as much as I like the matchup for JT Sanders, I have to go with Kraft.
Yeah. Let's go to Sergio. Given that Pacheco is out, would you play Hunt over Flowers in flex? Also, since Devontae Smith is out, would you play Goddard over Henry and Disley? So start with Hunt over Flowers is a smashing yes, I think, for both of us.
Yes and yes. I think I see this the same way Sergio sees it. Hunt is getting a lot of touches against that Carolina pass or run defense, which has been so terrible all season. Yeah, I love that. I would play him over Flowers. And I do think that the absence of Devontae Smith helps Goddard a lot. There are not really a lot of targets to go around in this passing game because the Eagles run the ball so much, but Goddard becomes the clear number 2 in this offense. And I think for me, that pushes him just ahead of those other guys.
Jay Harris with the big dog here. Must be big stakes for the league. Full PPR, Jacoby Myers or Deebo Samuel? It's a sneaky question because of the full PPR and Myers being, a top dog. But I'm pretty firmly Deebo here again. I do acknowledge at the top that there could be something with Myers getting a host of receptions. They could be playing from behind, even if it's competitive or behind, he could get some receptions. I just truly do believe that Deebo is going to be their floor wide receiver this week. They got to get the ball in his hands. He hasn't gone. I can't move away from Deebo in this instance.
Yeah, I don't know if Jay was around 20 minutes ago or whatever when we talked about this, Welsh, but we both think that maybe the quarterback change enhances Deebo's touch outlook a little bit today, just because maybe the passing game is a little closer to the line of scrimmage. The other thing about Jacoby, I like him a lot, and the floor is normally pretty sturdy. But we always see Patrick Surtain Jr. shadow someone. Who else is he going to shadow on the Raiders? I don't think he shadows a tight end. He could shadow Bowers, but
if there was a tight end you were gonna shadow, it would be Bowers.
Right. If he doesn't, though, I just worry that Jacoby maybe gets a lot of face time with Surtain Jr., which has been just the kiss of death for pass catchers this year. So I prefer Deebo here.
Yeah. Chris says Knicks or Goff today. Have Bowers. There's a lot of questions in here. So Knicks or Goff?
Knicks.
I love me some Bo Nix today. Have Bowers keep Otten as a flex option. 14 buys. He is a flex option. Yeah, I mean, if you're asking like, is Otten a flex option? Yeah, sure, potential. Like, I think I have 2 leagues where I have tight ends as a flex option. So even though you have Bowers in there, there's a handful of tight ends you could put in. Otten would be one of them. Hold Boswell with Siebert on IR to get past Washington week 14 bye. Thanks, guys. So
yeah, I mean, I'm never really like holding on to kickers with there's no kicker I'm holding through a bye week. Basically, there's no one so good at kicker.
I just dropped Moody because Moody stinks anyways. But I just dropped Moody in a league where I had a bye week on a kicker.
Yeah. So. And Seibert he's off IR, like he's kicking for the Commanders today. I think that was an Adam Schefter overnight Schefter bomb. So I don't know if that helps clear that up.
Well, here you go. Speaking of Schefter, we do have some bombs here. We have the actives and inactives, as he says, as such. Currently active for today, officially, Malik Neighbors, active. Mike Evans, officially active. Keenan Allen and DeAndre Swift, both active. Sam Laporta, Jonathan Brooks. So they are in. Who is out? No offensive pieces. Marshawn Lattimore, Tristan Wirfs. That's not great for the Bucs. And Josh Oliver. Those are some of your inactives and actives. And I will tell you, friends, if you guys are looking for that backup to, obviously we just got the answer now, but throughout the week, you guys have got to make sure to check out the Are They Playing tool, because if you're wondering if injured players are going to suit up, you can make those decisions early on and not have to wait till, an hour and 20 minutes before kickoff. You can get in on the action. The Are They Playing tool uses AI and years of injury data to give you an accurate prediction on whether an injured player is actually going to play. What you can do is you'll go and sync your league, and then you can get a simple report for all your players on the practice report throughout the week. And best of all, it is available to you for free. Stop sweating the Sunday inactives and get ahead of those tough lineup decisions by visiting fantasypros.com/arethaykplaying. Go and do that, and also can help with some of your waiver decisions. If you got guys that are shooting, into the red and under 50%, you can go and make some pickups so you're not trying to fight for it right now. So go and do it. Check it out today. Are they playing? All right, back to some of the super chats. We're going to hit some of the green ones. We are going to rock back to a couple in the chat, and then we will get probably more into lightning round, but we are going to hit these super chats. Jacob, full PPR. Would you know it? Jennings or Aaron Jones in the flex. He's playing Lamb, Sutton, Tracy, Connor, Otten, and Nix. Watson is on the bench. Aaron Jones in flex over Juwan Jennings. I say yes.
Yeah, I would rather play Jones over Jennings. We just don't know what this passing game is going to look like for the Niners.
Exactly. Let's see. King Andrew, pros. Bijan, Brees on bye, but have Connor start Benson, Justice, Roshan, or Abdullah. This is going to be gross, but I think Abdullah because of the usage. I mean, but I didn't see on the inactive thing, but I know it was doubtful about an hour ago for Samir White and Alexander Madison. So if Abdullah is the guy, he's also going to be the guy that they use in the passing game. I think just by pure amount of usage, Abdullah is the answer here.
I agree with you, Welsh. No Madison, no Zamir White. They're not going to give Abdullah 20 touches. He is going to be sharing work with either one or both of Dylan Laube, the rookie, or Sincere McCormick, who's kicked around in the league like on practice squads for a few years. But I do think Abdullah is going to get like at least 10 touches today. And probably a lot of them are going to be pass receptions, which are kind of high value touches in fantasy. So, out of all those guys, and not a lot of pretty options, Roshan in a terrible matchup. I think Abdullah gives you the best touch outlook for sure.
All right, let's get over to here for the memes. Hello, pick one for each, please. Richardson, Stroud, or Stafford. Let's start there.
Yeah, we've talked about this split decision, Welsh. I slightly prefer Stafford. Sounds like you prefer Richardson, so we're not going to get a consensus there.
Yep. Then Jennings, Douglas, Watson, or Bateman. So we only got to pick one of those wideouts. That's a Jennings one for me.
That is a Jennings one for me too, and boy, he's shown up in a lot of these questions, Welsh.
I told you he's on the team, man. He is
the pivot guy this week, clearly.
There's always like 2 or 3 guys, and it's just like everybody has got all the questions. A couple weeks ago, it was Audric Estime, rightfully so. It's a big time one. When did he PPR flex Jonnu or Jaden Reed? I haven't tried starting at tight end, so the dreaded 2 tight end or Jaden Reed.
Yeah, as good as Jonnu has been, and I know Jaden Reed's been in a TD. Well, he did have a TD last week, but I'm going Jaden Reed here. Like I feel like he is due for an eruption game, and just he has a much brighter outlook, I think, than Jonnu.
I would also go with Jaden Reed. I think he bodes well against the 49ers defense, the secondary, big top off play. Love Jaden Reed. And by the way, our boy Seth went and checked it out using the Are They Playing tool. Zamir and Alexander Madison, 5% chance on the Are They Playing tool to play. They had been listed as doubtful. So appreciate Seth checking that out. You guys can do that as well. Sweet.
Seth Andrew is so awesome. He's given us the Danish Kroner news. He's given us everything, man. Seth is,
it's like we're spoiled. We're spoiled to have like these amazing guys that are out there. I'm like, what's a DKK? And then like a minute later, we've got the answer. He even said the translation. It was like 1 krone is like 14 cents to a US dollar. So you also have the translation of like the finances there. So that's pretty great. Andrew says Levis or Brandon Allen lost Purdy. And then there's another question. So Levis or Allen for you?
Well, I've got Levis ranked quarterback 20 and Brandon Allen ranked quarterback 23. So we're not talking about great options here, but I do slightly prefer Levis. Are you with me on that, Welsh?
I'm not. That's the. I mean, I guess I don't feel good about it like in general. Not that I like Brandon Allen. I just think that they are going to like Houston's defense is kind of tough in general. I guess you can pass a little bit, so maybe that is going to work out. There's a part of me that thinks like they are going to manage Brandon Allen in a really good way, and you have great players to make plays. That I could see Christian McCaffrey having an easy receiving touchdown, Debo having a screen pass touchdown. I probably would go with like a super dynamic offense with Brandon Allen instead of like trying to bank on Will Levis versus the Texans. But that's me, and it's a tough one. Pick 2, Otten, Andrews, Leggett, full PPR.
I'm going with the 2 tight ends. The Chiefs are really hard on outside receivers.
I will also tight end potential with Andrews, but I don't love it. The Otten was the one I feel most comfortable about. Kalen, hi, full PPR, Kittle or Otten? That would be Kittle, Irving or Swift. I will go Irving, and Tank or Quinton. I will go Tank. What say you?
Yeah, Welsh, did you see is Trent Williams act? Oh, I guess we're not going to know because he's late afternoon. Like if Trent Williams is out, I would want to pivot to Otten here. And right now I'm trying, like, I know I've got Kittle and Otten side by side, and I think I've got Kittle ranked tight end 5 and Otten tight end 6. Just checking on that. Nope, I've got Otten ranked higher, Welsh. Like I think he's still going to play a big role. I just worry about Kittle and whether this is a blocking game for Kittle.
Well said. I do agree with that. Like if Trent Williams is out, they will 100% keep Kittle in to block for Brandon Allen more than anything else. But that also creates some really good block and step off type of opportunities. But to your point, like Otten might be a little bit of a better option. I'll just go with Kittle though. What about Irving versus Swift and Tank versus Quinton?
I've got Swift ranked slightly ahead of Irving. Why do I feel like we're going to butt heads on this one too, Welsh?
Yeah, because I said Bucky Irving, so I just don't like Swift a ton. Yeah, because Roshan Johnson getting more usage. I think this is a bad matchup. I think Bucky's going to eat more, so I like Bucky over Swift. So that's no help. Now Tank versus Quinton.
That one I've got Quinton, and I'm not as excited about Tank with Nico Collins back, and this Texans offensive line has been so bad at protecting Stroud over the last like 5-6 weeks. Like, I just don't really want to invest in the number 2 receiver in a passing game that I no longer trust.
That's a tough one. We are kind of on the opposite kind of across the board. So that one kills us a tiny bit. By the way, Seth said, according to Adam Schefter, the 49ers are optimistic that Trent Williams is going to play. But as he says, who knows? So that is from our own newsbreaker, Seth. So just so you know here. Also, these are tough decisions we're talking about. Before we get into lightning round, want to remind you guys that if you are confused who to start, we didn't get your question answered, or in a scenario where we are kind of, back and forth, I'm on one side, Pat's on the other side, use My Playbook's autopilot tool and just My Playbook in general to take the stress out of lineup management and those big decisions. You can get suggested lineup changes via email. You can have us auto swap inactive players for you. We got a lot of weird injury things that are happening, or you can turn on full autopilot to have it not only set your lineup, but have it optimized to your lineup every single week. Use autopilot at fantasypros.com/myplaybook or on the Fantasy Football My Playbook app. It's like having an analyst with you at all times because we can't be with you every moment. We do have other things to do. Not really, but we like to say that we've got other things to do. I'm up at all times looking at projections and player notes and all that type of stuff, but this is like just having us there. So go and check it out today. You can set it and forget it. All right, friends. We are going to get into lightning round. I highly suggest your super chats are not even close to guaranteed right now because I got a queue of some non-super chats I want to hit. We've got some super chats. So we are going to get into lightning round mode with bigger, quicker questions because I feel like we've answered most of the guys. So Pat, get ready. Probably not the crazy analysis, but we're going to pick them. Let's start with Norland. Start one wide receiver and one flex. We've got Quentin Johnston, Reed, Dowdle.
I'll go with Reed and Quentin Johnston here.
Agreed. I'm with you on here. Bulls on parade. Better upside, Otten or Disley? Ooh, that's Otten.
Yeah, Otten's still heavily involved.
Half PPR, Jameson or Debo at flex?
I'm going Debo. Welsh. Just the target counts for Jameson a little bit smaller than we'd like. Big play potential for sure. But I think Debo with the QB change sets up well for him.
Yeah. Marlon, Quentin Johnston or DJ Moore?
I've got QJ here. No verticality in the Chicago passing game last week at all. That worries me about DJ.
I also do. It doesn't feel good. Does not feel good whatsoever. But, full PPR, what's nice is you can get your 6 catches for 22 yards and you will get some points. But Quentin Johnston on the big plays makes me feel a tiny bit better. Patrick says, pick one full for flex, full PPR, Waddle, Javonte, Pierce, or Wandale.
We're going down with the ship together on Wandale. Waddle, not Wandale. Waddle, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like a dude who was drafted 6th overall as 3 for 3 and putting up 1,000-yard seasons. I know he's going to fall short this year. Like, he's a terrific player. I know the results have been bad. Keep going back to the well, though.
Evan, Aaron Jones or Quentin Johnston? It is Aaron Jones here.
Aaron Jones, yes.
All right. Pollard or Dowdle, full PPR?
Pollard, workhorse role without Spears today.
Absolutely. This is an interesting one. Tucker Kraft or Schoonmaker because Jake Ferguson looks out.
Yeah, I'm still going with Kraft. And I know Schoonmaker had the enhanced role last week, but they were also throwing some passes to Brevin Span-Ford, the other tight end there. So I think Kraft, go with the guy in the better offense.
I'm not really sure what the question is here. Puka, Ridley, McConkey with a question mark. Matchups look good.
I mean, my order of
Ridley and McConkey. Is he starting 2? Yeah. Do your order.
Puka for sure, man.
Yeah.
If Puka's playing, I've got him ranked 5 or 6, then McConkey, then Ridley.
How I'm reading this is maybe he's doing hey, it's good matchups for Ridley and McConkey. Would you sit Puka for them?
I would not.
Absolutely not. No, I would not sit Puka. I go Puka and McConkey as well, if that's what you were getting at there. J-Mo or Quentin Johnston? And then a kicker question.
Who's J-Mo?
Jameson Williams.
Oh, I'm just not used to seeing it presented with the hyphen.
Yeah, that is different.
Yeah, I'm going to Jameson Williams there. I've got him
Samesies.
about 7 spots higher. Schrader, Moody, or something. I think I have Seibert ranked 1 spot ahead of Schrader, just because the Commanders seem to they appreciate the value of a field goal, and Seibert has had a lot of field goal opportunities this year.
I don't rank kickers. My consensus is give me a kicker that is on a good offense that's playing indoors, and I will take that over higher projected kickers all day, every day. So that would be my advice. Andrews or Jatavian Sanders? Andrews.
Yes, Andrews.
Yeah, 100%. Let's see. Full PPR start 1. Reed, Jennings, or Myers?
Reed.
I'll go Reed too. Alvin. And no, I'm not going to do the chipmunk thing. Mahomes or Herbert. Opponent has D Hop, QJ, or Jennings and Jennings.
Whatever. I
Doesn't
don't
matter.
care about
Which
who
quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah, the opponent thing does not factor into this. Herbert way above Mahomes this week. Like Mahomes just doesn't put up 20-point games anymore. And Herbert has absolutely been cooking both as a passer and as a runner. And it's a great matchup.
Yeah, it is a good matchup. Javonte or Addison?
I'm going Javonte for the touch certainty. That's the thing. You just don't know what you're going to get for targets with Addison in any given week.
I will too. Going through here, Stevenson or Tracy?
I've got Tracy ranked a little bit higher. I think the dude's electric, Welsh.
I do too. I think he is like an absolute stud. Stevenson's fun, but I love Tracy in this, and they should throw him the ball a whole bunch. Jaden Daniels or Jordan Love? Oh, it's very, very heavily Jaden Daniels.
It is Daniels. I mean, he hasn't been great lately. I get it, but the matchup is good, and yeah, I'm going Daniels.
David Zimmerman, Packers D or Miami D, and then at the flex, Wandale or Nick Westbrook Akina. I would go with Nick Westbrook, and I would go with Miami D.
I have the Green Bay D ranked ahead of the Miami D. Just going against the backup quarterback, and the Green Bay D has been
Christian
really
McCaffrey is still on that team. Just want to point out.
I know.
Okay.
Green Bay D has been good at forcing turnovers, and I know NWI has gotten into the end zone quite a bit. This is one of those cases where Wandale's getting his 7 or 8 targets at the very least. I'm taking that over Westbrook Akine, who's like not even averaging 2 catches a game this season.
Big plays. All right, lightning round. We already did this. Kittle or Otten. I still go Kittle. You go Otten. It's a tough one. Full PPR. Otten actually feels even a tiny bit better in full PPR, if I'm being honest with you. Half PPR, Andrews or Kraft?
I've got Andrews ranked 1 spot higher. It's really close.
I got Kraft. I don't trust Andrews. It's all touchdown dependent for me, so I go Kraft over Andrews. Nicole. Abraham. Who should I start half PPR? Dowdle, Dobbs, Watson, Waddle, Moore, Adunze, Javonte, Douglas, or Worthy? Good Lord. We're going to start one. You get to pick one player out of there. It's Waddle for me.
It's Waddle for me too.
Okay. There we go. That was easy enough. Seymour, sit one. Brian Robinson Jr., David Montgomery, Jonathan Taylor. Brian Robinson hits the bench for me.
It's a tough call between those two, but I agree. I would sit Robinson. I've got Monty ranked a little bit higher, and JT has to play.
Michael, Tua or Love?
I have Tua ranked higher.
I got Tua. Otten or Disley?
Otten.
Jennings or Downs? This was a really tough one. I think Downs like by a slight lean.
I think so too. If it's full PPR, I've got Jennings ranked just ahead of Downs in half PPR, but I would not be opposed to Downs over Jennings there.
Charles, who should I start? Will Disley or Rome? The other stuff is, and then he has a defense one, but Disley or Rome Adunze? I'm gonna go with Rome. I think.
Yeah,
Rome,
same here.
I don't trust the analytics, but I feel something about Rome this week, so I'm gonna go Rome.
Same here. I mean, go with the guy who can, break 5-0 in the 40-yard dash.
Yeah, and then he's asking about benching Kittle. You're not going to bench Kittle. We're not going to do that. I mean, he may block, but just don't.
I agree.
Jaden Reed or Jameson Williams?
I've got Jaden Reed ranked very slightly higher.
Oh, I know this is lightning round, but let me look here. I think I have Jameson Williams slightly higher. I want to see what the consensus is here. Jaden Reed is 20. Jameson Williams is 23 on the consensus, and I think I don't know, volume for Jaden Reed a little bit, and big play. God dang it. I'm going to go with Jaden Reed, actually. It's a tough one. Jennings or Reed? I think we both said Reed.
Reed.
Disley or Kittle? Kittle. Okay, good. Debo, JSN, Downs, Sutton, pick 3, or also known as sit 1.
Yeah, I'm picking JSN and Sutton for sure, and I like Debo more than Downs this week.
Yeah, Downs is getting sat for me. Anderson with this is this R? I don't know what R money is. J.K. Dobbins, Aaron Jones, Stevenson, PPR, and then I think there's a separate tight end question. That's a Brazilian thing. So Dobbins, Aaron Jones, or Stevenson.
My order of preference is Stevenson, Jones, Dobbins this week. And really, really close between Stevenson and Jones.
Did you say you have Stevenson at the top?
No, yes, I do. I have Stevenson ranked. Oh no, I don't. I take it back. I've got Jones ranked ahead of Stevenson. Bears running defense is pretty bad, so
I have Stevenson ranked ahead. So
Really
it is a
close.
tough one, but yeah, I'll go Stevenson. And then Kittle over Jonnu. You
I
feel
have to
different
go
about
with
that?
I have to go with Kittle there.
Okay. Yeah. Andrews or Disley?
Disley.
Disley also. I don't trust Andrews. Would you start Tyreek Hill or Tyrone Tracy in the flex and full PPR? Tyreek Hill, absolutely.
Same.
Yeah, I don't care who else you have in there. I don't think I'd make any changes. I would just absolutely start Tyreek Hill. A couple more super chats, and then we will hit a couple others on this final lightning round. Darnold, May, or Levis this week?
Drake May.
Also, Drake May. Cosign. Pick 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. JSN, D Hop, QJ, Waddle, Bucky.
I am going with JSN, Bucky, and Waddle here, Welsh.
I am going JSA, Waddle, Buck. I'm also doing the same thing. And Seth, because he's a gangster here. The R in the currency for Brazilian is the Brazilian real. That is a Brazilian real, if you guys were looking for what that money was. Kyler or Herbert?
Herbert for me.
Also, Herbert. Also Herbert. Jennings over McMillan by 400 miles.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay. Daniels or Nix? Daniels.
Yes.
Love Bo
Daniels.
Nix, though. Love Bo Nix. Tank Dell or Rome?
I'm going Tank Dell here.
Also Tank, full Tank. Swift, Irving, or Pollard?
Yeah. I'm actually going with Pollard here, Walsh. I mean, like pretty much guaranteed, I think 20 touches with no Tyjae Spears today.
I would. I technically have Bucky ranked the highest. I think Pollard is safer. I have the feels on Bucky this week. Pollard is safer. Also, I love this. Seth said, I think we have to be breaking the most types of current currency collected on a live stream. I think that's true. It's true. We're not asking. I mean, just it's how you guys can get your questions put to the top, but we are rocking some currency. Last one on the super chat, and then we're going to rock in a few that are in the queue. Start one, Johnston, Jennings, or Addison. Juwan Jennings, you are the pick.
Both
again.
of us. Yes.
Yes. All right. Ryan, full PPR, Jameson Williams or Jaden Reed?
Jaden Reed. Yeah, we got this one before.
Oh, yeah, that was. I was about to say, did we get a version? I feel like my brain, I feel like we're having versions of them, but yeah, sometimes they are the exact same. This is a good question. Hawkinson or Goddard? Great point you mentioned earlier. With Smith out, Goddard tends to eat a little bit more. So Goddard, I'm going to go Goddard here.
Yeah, Goddard enhanced target outlook, and Hawkinson has not played even 50% of the Vikings snaps in any of his first 3 games back. They're managing his workload, so I'm going Goddard here.
All right, it's the exact same question. We're getting the same versions of the question. Dowdle or Waddle?
Waddle.
That's 100% right. Mahomes or Knicks?
I'm still going with Knicks. I mean, Mahomes is just like, he does not have 20-point games anymore.
But it's Carolina. It's my only problem. It is Carolina. I have Patrick Mahomes 1 spot ahead of Bo Nix, and I love Bo Nix this week. But he's going up against the Panthers. Travis Kelce is one of my favorite touchdown bets of the week. I think Mahomes is getting 2 touchdowns easy in this one. Problem would be is if Bo Nix has an absolutely just, explosion of a game. But all the Mahomes been bad aside, I think he can pull up a good game here. Mohammed, bench 1, JSN, Sutton, or MHJ?
I'm benching Marvin Harrison Jr.
I want to get a couple more questions in, but I am stuck on this one. I can't bench those other guys. You know what? I think I might too. All right, I'm going to hit some random ones in the chat, so good on you guys. Start 2, Robinson, Bateman, McMillan.
Robinson and Bateman.
Robinson and Bateman as well. I'm just doing random scroll ups here. Lamar or Goff? I would go Lamar.
I'm never sitting Lamar. Come on.
Yeah, DK or Debo?
Metcalf.
Yeah, I'll go with DK as well. It's super, super close though. Debo or Swift?
I'll go Debo.
Yeah, Debo too. McConkey or Flowers?
I have Ladd ranked 1 spot higher, but considering that we don't know for sure that McConkey is going to play, they're both tomorrow night. So I'm playing Ladd, but obviously you have an out tomorrow night since Flowers is playing in the same game. So I'd start Ladd and pivot to Flowers if Ladd is unexpectedly out.
All right. How about last one here? This is the grossest. Wait, no, I want this one. The grossest of the gross. Jalen Wright or Dylan Lobby?
Oh man, like I'm going with Jalen Wright just because like I'm worried Sincere McCormick is the number 2 guy in the Raiders offense, and it's not Dylan Lobby, and I don't want the number 3 running back in the Raiders offense.
Can you imagine taking like the 4th depth chart running back on the Raider? I'll go with Jalen Wright. He's the number 2 there. They do involve Raheem Mostert. Jalen doesn't get enough volume. This is as gross as it gets. I love ending like this, Colin.
For what it's worth, Colin, I'm starting Dylan Lobby in a 16-team league today.
I'm starting Jalen Wright in a league too. So Bipocalypse be damned. We are going to get some gross, ugly players out there. My friends, that is it. Holy, you guys rocked it. Thank you so much for the Week 12 Start and Sit 2-hour stream. We do these bad boys every Sunday leading up to the final hour of kickoff, where Pat and I have to scramble and get our rank set and get all of our players in. I hope you guys had a fantastic one. As we mentioned before, make sure you're subscribed and you put a comment below or on any video. You got a chance to win that awesome Trophy Smack metal wall art courtesy of our boys over at Trophy Smack. We want you guys to be big winners. Make sure you go and check out all the stuff we got over on My Playbook, from start decisions to are they going to play. We got it all covered. Download the My Playbook app and go and download Betting Pros app. Use promo code FPFREE. You'll get 1 full month of premium access to all of the tools where you can go and do your own analysis, get your own insights. If you don't even just trust ours, turn your fantasy knowledge into the betting markets. Unlock that today. Plus, check out cool stuff. You can follow Pat, the rest of the Betting Pros and Fantasy Pros people. They got premium bets we only put on there that you can only find, and a whole bunch more. Go over and check out Betting Pros and use that promo code FPFREE. Just get a full month. If you don't want it, don't do it. If you like it, lock it in and keep rolling, my friends. That is it. Whew, take a breath. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Good luck in Week 12. We know there are huge, huge implications on the line. We are going to be sweating it with you. You guys know where to follow us. Didn't even mention the Discord, by the way. Probably going to be answering some questions over there on the Fantasy Pros Discord. You can follow us also on the socials at Fitz_FF. Me at Is It the Welsh, pretty much everywhere. Thank you guys. Have a fantastic one. And we will talk to you next time right here on Fantasy Pros. And shout out to Seth. He's a rock star. Always got to shout him out. We'll talk to you next time, guys. Peace.